And welcome back, boys and girls. It's Lan and my man Cthulhu. We're back here for Rainbow Six Pro League Southeast Asia. How are we all doing today? Cthulhu, how does it feel to be back for a second week? My man Cthulhu, I think, are you still muted, Cthulhu?
Right. I kept staring at the microphone. Sorry, at the microphone icon, and still ended up forgetting. But yeah,
It's
I'm
only our
definitely
second
keen
week
for
back.
today. Yeah, it's only second week, but we first week has been so far an absolute barn burner of matches, and today it's promising to be just about the same.
Yeah, we've got some pretty interesting matches today. Definitely looking back at coming into 2020, starting off pretty strong so far. Cthulhu, could you give us a small recap of what happened last week?
So what happened last week was Giants versus 1122, and then we had, I believe, Q Confirm versus I believe that was no Q Confirm versus Xavier. Hang on, let me just pull up really quickly.
But we do have the standings here in front of us, and we do see that Xavier is at 6 points up next to Giants. And you told me off screen that that Xavier was on the heels of Giants, and that's probably because of Giants' current and their previous performance so far. Yes, but Xavier are currently up in front of them. That's just the way the standings are. Let's say now in third place. Can they hold that for long? We'll see that after the couple of games today. Q confirmed 6 points as well. 200 Degrees, Valor, Team 1122, and Script all at 0 points so far.
Yeah, so with the wins, it was pretty much one-sided throughout the whole first week. Q Confirm and 200 Degrees played it out pretty close, 7-4, 7-5. Giants versus 1122 was somewhat of a bit of a close one, 7-5 and 7-3. Whereas Xavier only dropped 3 rounds against Script, and then let's say 7-5, 7-3 versus Valor. So it was all in all pretty well played. So for this one, Xavier versus Lissay, and then Q Confirm versus 1122. I can say with utmost confidence that Xavier versus Lissay, it is most definitely going to go into the favor of Xavier just by the sheer fact that they are forced to be reckoned with.
And today's schedule, we've got Xavier Esports versus Lissay Esports back-to-back as usual, followed by Q Confirmed and Team 1122. So Xavier versus Lissay, we saw that before, and last season as well, when we started off in Pro League Season 10, Lissay and Xavier played off in the first early few weeks as well, and they just got smashed. It was pretty painful.
Yeah, Lissay unfortunately is still somewhere closer to the bottom of the ladder, and after that performance, it was quite nice. But looking at Xavier, Red Sun, Napier, Kirisaku, Warbark, and Baby Pig, and Baby Pig and Red Sun are the remains of the old Xavier roster, whereas the newcomers are the Napier, Kirisaku, and Warbark. And boy, oh boy, are they all forced to be reckoned with. And they have shown some pretty good overall performance. All 5 of them, honestly, they have managed to show that hey, they can frag and they can play very well. Whereas, how about you go, kind of get us through Lissay's roster?
Yeah, so Lissay Esports, Vixus, Mizu, Lonely, Sinrinov, and Ganjo. So Ganjo is the new boy in town, right? He's actually replaced, I believe, Datsum, who has left. He's gone back to studies, so good luck to him. Shaf has also rejoined that roster as a substitute player / coach / manager. So looking forward to see how Ganjo's going to contribute and fit in with the rest of Lissay Esports. But so far, it's looking like they're doing all right. They had a decent run last week from what I saw with the results coming out from CGG. Looking at this week, though, they have a very steep mountain to climb. So just going back to Season 10, when they faced off against Xavier, it was a fat pub stomp. They just got flushed out. No one was ready for anything. Sid Retnoff wasn't pulling off those clutch god plays that we expected him to play and to pull off, and they just weren't expecting many things coming their way. Xavier took advantage of that, and they ran right over them. Looking at the bans this time around, Bank and Cafe are being taken out there, and Border.
Border with Villa being taken out respectively for both of those teams. Villa being more or less of that ban that Xavier has been quite stable with that ban. They did the similar ban on the previous week as well.
Yes, and knowing, let's say, myself from my past experience, they do quite well on Villa as well, and taking out Consulate, not a big ban on Lasay, so it's not one of their strongest maps per se. Although Lasay did take out Clubhouse, which is interesting. It's one of their better maps, but at the same time, Xavier they're gonna excel at it no matter what. So the map pick for this particular matchup will be Coastline.
Yeah, Coastline is the pick where I do believe we did see Xavier play as well, and they pretty much didn't let go at all. I think it was just about a single round that was actually lost by Xavier. So they definitely are going to be feeling quite confident on this one. But comparative to them playing against Script, I get a feeling that, let's say, might have a few extra tricks up their sleeve for themselves. So I'm curious how will this work out for Lasay and for Xavier as well, because ultimately, I'd be confident to say that both of us would pretty much be on the same page, thinking that Xavier will potentially take the W here.
Yeah.
My main question is, what will be the final scoreline? How many rounds can Lasay take off Xavier and still feel somewhat confident as well?
Honestly, I think Lasay might take a couple of rounds. This is a new Xavier roster. They have performed well and brought in a couple of upsets before, but we'll have to see as we go through. It's going to be a pretty interesting matchup moving forward.
Oh yeah, most definitely it's going to be interesting to say at the very least. But for now, we are transitioning right into Coastline, ladies and gentlemen. It is Lasay Esports versus Xavier Esports, and we're just about to get in, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, a map like Coastline for Xavier Esports as well is going to be very different. And I'm not sure how it's going to go, but we're hoping for a very good turnout this time around. I can only wish them the best.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm curious as to whether Lasay will be able to bust a move or two here. We're just getting some really nice flyovers here. As
beautiful flyovers. Yeah, beautiful flyovers.
Just about to start off. We'll be there very, very soon. But on the ban side, any thoughts in particular what could happen here? Because usually we will be accustomed to see something like a maybe Jacko or a maybe something across the lines of a Capital maybe. Pick. What do you reckon?
I'm thinking Capital should be a definite ban, honestly. We saw that Xavier has used Capital quite a bit. Although the resident Capital player, Scatman, isn't here. So, he's not on that roster anymore. Red Sun has come in and he's just like, you know what, we're just changing this all over again. And they might bring that in. But having said that, you gotta think that, Red Sun, he knows their strategies quite well, and the Thai teams all are very interlaced, and they are interacting with each other and scrimming each other all the time. They've got so many competitions over there in Thailand. And having said that, Lasay should know that they love Capital, and he's one of the most banned operators and used operators whenever possible in all pro leagues, to be fair. So, I'm hoping that we do see an interesting couple of picks going through. I'm not too sure how exotic I want to see these picks. I don't know if they're going to pull out that Nook at all. Lonely could do that, but he's been really assigned to more utility destruction, less of a hard fragger.
I mean, we did see, I believe Xavier actually did bring in Nook one or two times before on the first play week, so it's definitely is something that can be picked, and we are already ready to go into that ban phase. Sorry for a slight delay, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, Lasay on attack, Xavier on defense on the first half. What are your predictions? Sorry to throw you under the bus that quickly.
Well, it's been a while since I've been here in the Pro League seats, but Nomad being banned is not a surprise. That got banned out by Xavier, and we know that it's a target ban there, but most likely directed at Mizu, who normally plays Nomad, maybe Avixis as well. Avixis had a good run last week with a positive KDA. Hopefully we see that coming through again. He normally is in those support roles, but I'm not too particularly sure how they're changing around. But they're banning Dokebi. Okay.
Okay, Dokkaebi is essentially the boss G ban against Red Sun, because the man was pretty nutty on um, on the Xavier roster. Pardon.
Okay,
And
okay.
that boss G was quite powerful in his hands, but Clash being banned out is
Interesting.
something a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's a bit saucy.
Yeah, I mean Xavier don't do that well against Clash. I don't know what their actual pick rates are for Clash, but maybe just something that they want to get out of there and not have to deal with. She can be quite a pest on that defense, and she can stall you for a very long time. Maybe they don't want any halts. Maybe they don't want them putting any brakes on anything coming through. So we're not sure what the logic is going behind that, but Valkyrie getting banned out as well is pretty big.
Yeah, having Valkyrie out of the game is definitely something that is a little bit out there, but it's definitely gonna hurt a little bit that whole roam play for a slight bit. And apart from that, really, Legion, Maestro, Jaeger, Echo, and Mozzie is pretty nice, pretty good setup of the ops.
Yeah, so it is quite a bit different coming through. And Ash, pretty bold, lonely, not wasting any time at all, going straight to the cut. Honestly, just wants to get some of these frags going.
Yeah, well, for now, we will be seeing a kitchen and service entrance defense for Xavier Esports and see how things will work out. Seeming like it is a full reinforcement on, well, at least on the left half of the south wall. And for now, for Xavier, they are seeming to be just gonna probably feel out how will, let's say, attempt to approach the offense here. As it is a team that is known to have a little bit of that extra aggression here and there, but Sinridnov will be actually kicking things off onto Napier, and that is Mozzie off the board pretty quickly.
Yeah, can be the case. So hopefully everything goes well. Not sure what their plans are at the moment, but does look like everything is honky-dory going through.
It is indeed. The Sin is now holding the angle into Sunrise as the Jaeger is now spotted, which might force him to fall back. But as it stands for now, it's a little bit on the back foot for Xavier.
All right, there we go. So looking at it, they are trying to push in through this through the hookah, and then interesting to see enough that Avixis is actually downstairs throwing a couple in. Oh, ADS picks up a couple. Surprised Sinjanov didn't do the initial drone actually, but does lose that Twitch drone, that shock drone, almost immediately.
Yeah, for now it's seeming that pretty much the whole of Lasay roster are slowly surrounding Hooker and Sunrise as well. But for now, not a single little bit of that push yet to come out. But it is Kirisaku that will be opening up on Sin, and that is just about Twitch gone and out, as well as Avixis as well. That is minus Hibana. It's gonna hurt quite substantially.
Yeah. Moving through does look like Kirisaku is trying to hold it down. One goes down there. Baby Pig getting taken out already is big yikes. But I mean, that's little. Ooh, oh, a little bit alpha. Ouch there. A couple more going through. Does look like Mizu is in that blue bar by himself. Takes out that yokai quite easily. Didn't have to use that little gadget on the wrist and pushes through. Ooh, does almost wins that trade, but manages to just crawl out of there. Get picked up by the goo mine, and Baby Pig gets one from the grave.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lonely did manage to get in through the window and will have a pretty solid position in the kitchen, but for now, the only now starting to go in for the plan, and Warbark has all the possibility to actually prevent that plan. I don't think he is aware about that Ash position, but will be shut down pretty quickly. Let's say to win round number 1, and only off a 1v2 situation.
Lonely here, I mean, playing that little Ash main, not performing too badly himself. Picking up nice two frags there.
Lonely in the previous week was one of the very much big players for Lasay, and was quite a frequent appearance for the MVP position.
I mean, that's Lonely in general, man. The guy turns up to a local event down in Indonesia and people want to take photos with him. There are more veteran players hanging around the area, but he is the superstar of the country for Rainbow Six Siege. How can you blame the guy? He works hard, he plays hard, and he does very well for himself. But let's not forget his brother Mizu as well. Mizu himself does a fantastic job of actually keeping things going and actually making sure that the entire team does stay there. And he's actually a very strong emotional anchor for the team as well in their morale.
Seems to have worked out pretty well on the emotional support part as well. For now, it is a retry by Xavier Esports after what we have been hyping up essentially to be a Xavier-dominated map. So far, it seems like it might be a little bit shaky.
There we go. And for all those returning to Rainbow Six Southeast Asia Season 11 from 10, Oxion has moved into the manager's position, and Shaf has returned to the roster as a substitute player / coach.
There you go, folks.
To
return though.
You know, I'm surprised they've done it opening up that wall. Sorry to cut you off, but you're not opening up the kitchen wall, and Xavier have done that quite a lot in the past. This time leaving that shut does mean that they are trying to keep it more boxed in and not having to contest too many angles.
Well, it is, more or less of a slightly different Xavier roster, so it definitely is a change up in the scenery. Pardon, I was looking for those words for a little bit, but as it stands here, they occasionally open it up, occasionally keep it closed. It definitely seems like Xavier are not shying away from a abundance of strats, and a bit of a unfortunate timing there for Mizu to go down to the hands of Warbark here.
A bit hasty, but he does go down to the old dog himself. Warbark does bare his fangs, so to say. Lonely, the brother, will have to try to pick this up and push through. Does see the corpse of his brethren in the corner, but we'll have to scope it out just before he pushes in a little bit aggressively. But 3 members of Lasay trying to duel this one angle here. Not sure if they're going to actually make it through that doorway, but they might have to actually just attack a different angle as a whole. There are many entrances to this site. They surely don't have to go through one door.
Yeah, it's a very good point as well. Contesting a single angle, but with all 3 and already starting to lose people is definitely not the go here. And it's seeming that they are paying for it quite severely as well already.
Yeah, a couple peeking through there. Ganjo, new boy on the block, will be pushing through. Oh, picks up 1 kill for himself. And there we go. Napew getting taken out there. Kirisaku around the corner. Oh, sees one, drops that diffuser for his teammates. Tries to wall bang, doesn't get anything out of that, but does take a little bit of damage. Kirisaku has a very good history of winning multi-kill duels. Lonely takes out the Gumine before it's a bit too late. Drop down to 1 health, so that's 1 bullet. That could be a fly at any point of time to drop him and bring him down. A couple of wall shots going through. They have a little bit of line of sight going through there. Oh, loses the duel on that one, and Xavier win round 2. Not sure how they did that, but you know what? Kirisaku working that magic just again. And it does look like we're going into the next round here. And, oh, okay. Zofia, Twitch, Thatcher, and Ash and IQ, just again, nothing too new. Same setup so far, Cthulhu. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It definitely seems like a pretty much same setup, at least for the offense. On the defense side, yeah, well, now make it just about as similar, minus the fact that they did bring in a smoke for this very round. So, seemed like a pretty... All the bases covered. you have the B side as well. You have you have Legion for that passive damage. So pretty much everything that you need is being covered here on the utility side. Now it's just the matter of can Xavier click hits.
Yeah, hopefully they should be able to pull this through. Not sure how it's gonna pan out though. Couple of pests going down as well. So something a little bit different. Kirisaku now switching over to Maestro, changing his position into more of a heavy anchor. Couple of evil eyes going up there to make sure that he gives them the mean look. We'll be trying to hold down here with Red Sun in the corner. Does look like Ganjo and Mizu will be trying to push in through maybe the blue bar, maybe Sunset. I'm not sure just yet, but Lonely on a very different position than before. Last time we saw him actually push through the offices. Now he's on a completely opposite building. Vixus upstairs by himself, trying to cover a couple of safety points there.
Yeah, for now it is Warbark to open up a few very nice pixel angle holes. He was quite known for that as well in the first week, as he was quite a fan of using those. But curious if Ganjo has a really nice long angle into the bar and should be able to out anyone who will be trying to contest that long angle as well.
Alright, and there we go. Oh, Lonely takes a little bit of damage, but picks up Napew, and there we go. Maybe he should have gone Pew Pew. Who knows? We'll have to live to tell another. We'll have to find out another day. I'm so sorry, but you know what? Baby Pig is still around. Red Sun around the corner as well. One Goo gonna go down, maybe in between the floorboards. Bit sneaky there. Couple of shots going on the left side here. Kisaku wary of these sound cues.
Yeah, with all the sound cues right now, Xavier need to be also very much cautious. While Lasey already took a round and a half, but it was a very nice push by Lonely to get rid of Mozzie, but I don't think they capitalized enough of that, really, as only now the gas grenades are starting to come out, and right now you need to make sure that you have a push going for yourself.
Yeah, there we go. Kirisaku holding an angle. Oh! Not like that! Please no, Kirisaku, don't do that to your friend. Lonely getting a double kill for himself. No surprises there, boys and girls. A couple of shots through a little sneaky angle, and you know what? He may just drop from that rappel.
Yeah, well, for now, it's seeming to be working out.
Oh, that's
well
ballsy.
Let's say, yeah, well, that's a very nice ballsy play. But ooh, Baby Pig with a double kill for himself, going to take out Mizu and Avixis, leading in a 3v. Well, make it just about 2v2, as I believe Zafia is down. So.
Not like this.
Now it is up to Kirisaku and Baby Pig right now. Ooh, some fantastic spray down, but will be taking a fat chunk of damage for himself. And right now, a gas grenade is all that needs to be used to get rid of Lonely, but fantastic trade right now there going between him and Kirisaku, and it's all up to the any health.
Not like
Can
that!
that be done?
No, he's taking way too much damage. Sinranov pulls out some crazy clutches, but you know what? Not this time around, especially when he has nowhere to go and no way to focus. Seriously, I'm not sure what happened with that push. I felt like all of it was really narrowed down. There was no external pressure. All the defense had to do was focus down on one hallway. And when they did, they all got destroyed. I mean, like, it was one SMG-11 versus the world, and smoke just melted all of them, really.
All they had to do was follow the Heckin train. And they didn't do it.
No, too slow. And I mean, we saw, you know, Lonely even walking through there, crawling through there, and Sinranov on the window, not paying attention, not able to bring in any crossfire. What was he looking at? Maybe he was looking at something, but I didn't see it.
It probably was just because it was Big Smoke who ended up closing out the round, but for now, it is a 1v2 situation. Ian, what, apart from the fact that it was pretty much a funnel into a single place by, let's say, what else could have been done by them to essentially avoid that, whatever?
I feel like there was a bit of a lack of communication there, because Avixis and Ganjo got taken out almost immediately, simultaneously, back to back. Next to each other, in fact, right? Not through a grenade, not through a C4, not through any sort of explosive whatsoever. Literally they just got outgunned. there must have been some kind of communication error with where they were sort of what angles are we covering, who is in this position, and who is covering my 6. Both of them look like they were just kind of focusing on not enough, really. So a little bit of miscommunication going on there. I feel like I can't really gauge how Ganjo's contributing to this team right now, but what I can say is that I don't think I'm not really going to say he's a detriment to their formation compared to the old Lasey that I know. However, what I can say right now is that Lasey have the ability to take rounds off Xavier. They've gone in the first round. They need to pull that back in and actually make something happen.
Yeah, they need to make sure that the rotational positions and all of that is pretty much outed and unavailable to Xavier, because Lasey had a pretty solid idea when Xavier were defending, where they just cut off pretty much any movement ground and managed to take control, albeit that it was off a 1v2, but nonetheless, it was still a pretty good idea. And Mizu starting things off onto Warbark is definitely going to be a very nice start here.
Yeah, pushing through quite well. Sinranoff going to drop down. Hopefully they've done a little bit of droning. Surely they have. They do see that a lot of the flooring has been opened up down by the blue bar. Oh! Lonely. Very nice clean kill onto Kirisaku, and that's one of their top fraggers being taken out of the game.
Yeah, taking out Kirisaku is definitely going to kick things off real nicely, especially considering that it is Elysian as well. So that pretty much completely outs any more of the Elysian mines, and will definitely make the attack a much easier game for Lasey, comparative to if Legion would have been taken out earlier on into the game. Interestingly enough, it is a P10C for Napier though with a shotgun, so curious as to how will that work out for him, as that package is...
Oh! Barely missing those shots could cost them so much, but let's not just talk about the fact that he's got a shotgun and that Napier is downstairs. Let's talk about... Oh my gosh, let's talk about that kill! That wallbang is absolutely amazing. And don't forget, I was just going to mention this, he's playing Warden.
Yeah. Warden, not a very... well, a very rare, and not a very common pick out here in Pro League. He's definitely very much situationable. When the situation appears, he can work pretty well. But Sin pretty much making use of that situation is able to take him out. Yeah,
let's not throw this right now, let's say esports. 4-2. Okay, 3-2. I take that back. Baby Pig again. Oh no, 2-2. I'm gonna shut up because I feel like I'm jinxing these guys. But Red Sun's got that extra kill. One more Toxic Babe in the back pocket there. Oh, Lonely with a very nice double kill going through. Evil Eye doesn't get taken out this time. And you know what? The plant will be going down. Red Sun has a lot of work to do. 1-2 right now. And let's say Lonely, he's got it covered, boy. Dab, 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 dab. Yeah, that's the one.
Indeed, he does. A very nice hold there at the end of the round, which seemed like it could have gone into the hands of potentially of Xavier, as that was quite cutting it a little bit close to the comfort ground of Lasey. But nonetheless, still, well done. Managed to bring it back all the way, and it is a 2.
Fantastic job. Lasey showing that they are capable of being A-class. 100%. Ganjo is currently technically a substitute player filling in for their main roster change, which was supposed to be Spider-Jowl, coming in from the old Impetus Gaming slash what was the name of it? MBT, right? The Malaysian Battlefield team, right? MBT.
Yeah.
And you know, he won't be able to transfer in because of the transfer lock that he's in, because he competed last season, can't swap that fast. So he's under restrictions right now. But Ganjo has a task in front of him over this next season, over at least the first half of the season, to actually perform as best as he can to show that he deserves to be that roster, and that Spider is going to be the one on that backseat as a sub. Can he do that or not?
He certainly has quite some time to showcase that, and a matchup that is against Xavier, what is considered a top 2 team of Southeast Asia at this very moment. definitely could be a good showcase, considering that for now it is Xavier and Lisey drawed out at round after 4 rounds of Coastline. So maybe Lisey might actually be able to show us a very nice and very close game against pretty much such a giant within the sub-region.
An absolute dominating force. Xavier have almost always, if not always, been to the APAC land. Maybe, let's say, maybe it's their time coming through. Who knows? But they are pushing through. So let's say have 3 men on that hookah balcony. Pushing through. Baby Pig downstairs with that C4 prepped, waiting for the right time to actually throw it up and see if it brings down an angel. But maybe it's a dragon they might find instead.
Well, whether it's a dragon or an angel, we'll have to wait, as the C4 has not been ripped and exploded just yet. But for Lisey, it is for now full control of the top floor up until if Xavier will attempt to try to contest it. But I don't think they will, at least for the time being, as most of them are just scattered either inside the site or just up and around it, just to make sure that the moment Lisey will try to make the move to downstairs. Okay. Ooh, fantastic C4.
Fish is a dragon. There we go.
There's the dragon, yeah, indeed.
A bit of a trade coming out. Lonely picking out Warbuck was also good coming from Lisey's side. So that's one of their main anchors being taken out of the equation. Kirisaku, a little bit of a soft roamer there going through. Does seem like he's trying to hold it down as well as he can. Avixis does a nice little rotation outside. Goes back on the drone as soon as he can to drone it out. And you know what? Ooh, sees and suspects danger. Pre-fire just a little bit, make sure. But, oh! Bear almost had it. He's got the right instincts there, though.
Yeah, he knows that somebody might be right behind that table, so that position could very much be a beneficial one if he does manage to get a nice read in there.
There we go. Kirisaku's trying to hold these vertical angles, holding it down as long as he can. Sidranov picking another one up with that F2. A fantastic weapon and a fantastically Oh, okay, Ganjo, chill out, buddy. Really wants to show that he belongs here, so trying to earn his salt as best as he can. Fantastic job, but Vixus gets taken out almost immediately, but Sidranov comes in with a nice refrag and a nice flick over into Kirisaku. Attackers win round 5. Let's say esports start to pull up ahead.
Fantastic lead for, let's say, right now, as yeah, like you said, going already double digits as well for themselves. Some fantastic performance for what is considered an underdog team against Xavier, and it seems that Xavier can't seem to catch a break and find the key to how to counter the plan. So far, this is the better turnaround that what Script had against Xavier in the previous play week.
Yeah, so does look like we are going to be going through it, and a couple of seconds left. What are your predictions moving forward into this next round? Because we need to see if anything's going to change up around or not.
Well, the main change right now is the fact that Kirisaku did end up bringing a Goyo rather than any other operator, and Maestro won't be anymore in effect here for the hookah and billiards room defense, which means that we might be seeing a little bit more, maybe anchor heavy play, considering that Goyo does allow a little bit more of that extra lenient room, with the fact that your ballistic shield can also be used as that bait and the area denial as well.
True, very true. Baby Pig, by the way, let's talk about him for a second, because Baby Pig has been on fire, right?
Yeah.
Peppa Pig is straight up gangster up in Southeast Asia. That is not even a joke. Peppa Pig is literally like some kind of like hip hop icon over there. I don't even understand it, but he's turning up straight up gangster, and I feel like he's really holding down that fort as that anchor, because that SMG-11 is going to work with him. And he's doing such a great job at holding down these angles. We do see his name turn up a lot on the kill feed. We do see Baby Pig actually bringing in a lot of solidarity into that composition that Xavier trying to bring through. Goyo coming in, that's something fantastic. I love to see this coming through in Season 11, man.
Yeah, Goyo definitely has been seeing quite some time, albeit not as great performing as one would expect, but nonetheless, he is quite becoming a bit more and more of a frequent pick. And I am quite curious to see how things will turn out from here. Red Sun with Napier holding the hooker, and right now having that Goyo shield could certainly work pretty well if the timing is right here. And Ganjo is looking like he might try to get rid of that Goyo shield preemptively.
Oh, Napier picking up Ganjo real early.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Caster's curse, man. Caster's curse. It happens. It's not our fault. I swear, guys. It's not our fault. But you know what? Looking at it, Warbark is going through. He's gonna try to pick this up. Picks up the shock drone. No one was on it, so no one actually knows he's there. Napier's gonna drone upstairs. No, not drone, but peek through quite slowly. And Mizu has a little bit of angle holding, being held down in the blue bar. Bleh. Sorry.
Yeah, right now Warbark is in a bit of a peculiar position because right now I believe it was Hibana that was not Hibana. One of the attackers, I believe, could be the Ash that was actually close by to the officers. So right now he is sandwiched a little bit in between being in between Sledge and another attacker. So his position could become expendable very quickly. But a nice pick by Napier would be actually getting rid of that Twitch. And as it stands, it is a 2v5 situation just like that.
Yikes. Alright, and a couple of members from Lisey have, I think, reconnected. I'm not sure. Sindranov is not here with us, unfortunately. Hopefully he comes back and we'll be able to fix this. But they're looking for a rehost. It might be a little bit late, but at least they can ask for it, right?
Yeah, there will be a rehost after this round, but ultimately it is seeming like it will go in favor of Xavier, and the first half will be finished in a 3-3 manner. Well, not too bad of a scoreline, but could be much better, especially for a team that is Xavier. So for now, for Mizu, he is using up the last remaining 24 seconds to roll around and see maybe if he and his team can get some chat going and figure out what went wrong out there.
Ooh, very nice, but unfortunately Xavier win that one with an impact grenade. A little bit of a trade, but you know what? It worked out for them in the end.
Did indeed, with a nice Pokeball to the face. It definitely was a nice finisher to the first half of the first map for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so far, Lisey did manage to prove that they are an able team. They can coordinate some pushes pretty well, but they are still flawed in a fair few executions, and they still need to work on them. But that is a good sign, though. That means that they still have some road and some space to move around, to go with and to play with.
Yes, and considering where they came from before, they are in a fantastic position right now. We have to consider that last year, Season 10, when they came through, they stood no chance against Xavier. And now that this Xavier, the stronger Xavier that we're looking at right now, is neck to neck with Lisey, after a couple of changes coming through with their roster, I'm very excited to see how this is gonna turn out for, let's say, moving into the next few rounds, because definitely looking at some pretty interesting plays. Like you said, a couple of things they need to fix. I have mentioned to them before when I was their coach last season that they do seem to somehow tunnel in and sort of funnel into certain spaces together, but we saw them fix that as soon as they realized that they were doing that, correct?
Yeah, they managed to fix a fair few things up the moment they saw a few of their mistakes. So now it's definitely a good sign for, let's say, they are able to adjust, they are able to play it out. Whereas for Xavier, they seem to be a little bit stiff. Maybe it's just the first few round jitters. Maybe it's just a week break was a little bit too much. Maybe you never know for now. Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. It could be completely other things. Maybe they just didn't hydrate enough. You never know.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I feel like they've improved so much. Shaf is doing a fantastic job in that coaching role, and they are bringing it together. Certainly looking very positive in their performance. Not so sure how it's turning up for communication-wise, because obviously they've got a new member in there, and the dynamics are different, and everything's coming in together in a different way. So if they can overlap in a positive way and keep this going, certainly it's going to turn out well. I think they stand a chance in actually bringing in a cheeky upset.
Yeah, could very much be in place here. At the very least, a draw can very much happen if this type of stuff keeps going on. because Xavier is seeming to be a little bit on the back foot for a fair few of their plays and most of their defense. Whereas for let's say whenever they did manage to make it work, they made it work pretty well. Considering with a fair few of those pre-fires, a fair few of the gunfights winning, and just like that, they have the 2 or even 3-man advantage, from which they once nearly threw it, and once they did throw. And
yeah, I think if Sin Rednoff was in that round, it would have made a big difference. I think the Pokeball wouldn't have mattered too much. I mean, it would have mattered because it would have been a 1v2 or something like that, but like, I don't remember anymore, like what the space of that round was. But what I do know is that Sidranov has pulled out some great clutches. That he's an able player. He's got a lot of talent. He can go places, and let's say have all the capabilities available to them to actually take out Xavier. Xavier, however, let's talk about them for a second, because I feel like Xavier are doing a fantastic job actually bringing in a lot of these defenses, but it's not like they're playing bad Siege. Or making too many mistakes. I just feel like Lasay are just exceeding their expectations at this point.
Yeah, well, it so far has been one of those storylines somewhat similar to even how the Tokonami finals happened for Aerowolf, where, if you remember the interview with them, where they said that they did not really expect to win against Giants, and they managed to win it, and they were prepping for it, obviously, but it was never on the cards that saying that, hey, we're gonna just go there and win flat out.
I'm very, very proud of Lasay so far, and Xavier coming through with a new roster. Very interesting to see. Red Sun always performs well, and the teams he puts together are always in the limelight. Correct? He's arguably one of the most experienced Rainbow Six players in the Southeast Asian scene, if not maybe, yeah, definitely top 5 there in that respect. Looking forward to seeing if they can actually pull this out, because surely they can, and they just need to capitalize on Lasay's mistakes, and Lasay are making mistakes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Lasay definitely still are making mistakes. They still have a few very questionable decisions for the round, but I definitely think that they have the potential to make an upset once they start emphasizing on improving where they were making those mistakes. So it's definitely very much workable for them. Whereas on the side of Xavier, they seem to be either still not completely adapted to that aggression where Lasay plays, or they just seeming to be getting too cocky, maybe even.
Cocky? Oh, yes. I can see that. I can see that. You know what? It is something that I'm interested in. I'm interested to see if they can play around that. We're still waiting for the rehost to come around, boys and girls. Of course, let us know, like, on Twitter, retweet it. Let us know on Twitter what you guys are thinking about this match coming in so far. Looking to see what you guys are saying on Twitter, and hopefully we can actually get something, get some of your opinions coming in, because honestly, I feel like Lasay can win this, and I really want them to. They're definitely my favorite going into this matchup, but the hard truth is that Xavier have a very strong reputation in this field as an organization and per player that we are looking at on that roster.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be a hill climb for them. It's no easy stroll through for Lasay. But yeah, like you said, they definitely have the potential. They have the chance to make that upset. But yeah, let's delve a little bit further into some of these rounds while we wait for that rehost to actually come through. I want to get your opinion on that kitchen and service defense that Xavier attempted to do 2 times, and 2 times they ended up losing it quite substantially.
Yeah.
Any kind of thoughts on that?
I felt like when I saw the round, I'm not sure which round it was anymore, but when Vixus tried to push in through the service door, and then Sinernov actually rotated out from the luggage window, tried to cover him through the main door. Smart move, but I feel like the timing there was a bit off. But to be fair, Sidranov got that refrag immediately and got the bonus kill on top of that to actually close it out. There are some things about that defense on that site that I'm not sure why they aren't doing. Like opening up the window, opening up the wall by the kitchen, the long wall, so that they can control it from the luggage corridor upstairs on the other side of the map. That's pretty standard on most pro league teams. Leaving it closed does mean that they're not going to try to control the second floor as much. But if they're not going to control the second floor, they're giving up a lot of the verticality, if not all the verticality, and they're relying on late flanks. We don't want to have to rely on late flanks on a map like Coastline, because once they start opening up the floorboards and they actually start getting to a lot of construction, it's going to get risky, because the rotations become harder to make, your safety spots are harder to use, and a lot of the positioning is out the window again. So it almost becomes impossible if the defending team or the attacking team have drones in place in spots where the defenders are going to get spotted, they're going to get seen, and the communication is strong on the attacking side, will just get relayed, and anyone on flank watch will just pick them out.
Yeah, with the flank watch, it's definitely a big question here, especially for when it's gonna come down to, say, bigger maps or during map even number 2, because Coastline generally is one of those maps where you don't per se need that much of a flank watch, albeit you do still need it. But as it stands, really, it's one of those maps where maybe a drone just watching your back or a claymore could pretty much do whatever you need. Whereas, say, something like a bank, you need a full-on strat to make sure that nobody goes behind, kills you, or stabs you, or does any other nasty stuff.
Yes, and I mean, but you know, they are coming out with, they are finding new ways to play around with claymore lasers. I think Zoronic tweeted out a little clip where there was a claymore, and then someone put, I think, a goo mine and used the goo mines to block the lasers so they could pass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you could put down a Elamine to cover up, to just block those lasers and walk right past it. There are a lot of creative things you can do in Rainbow Six that people are still learning and trying to find, and just only discovering now. And this is a game that's been out for like 4 years.
Oh yeah,
5 years.
And people still keep on discovering the ways to play it. So it's definitely quite amazing to see. But we are finally back into the game. Sorry for the delays. Thank you to all our clean feed operators and the observers. But yeah, we are back. Blue Bar Sunrise, second half of Coastline, Xavier versus Lissay.
And now we see Avix is still in that support position, but now moving from a bandit into a mirror. Surprise, I mean, like, that's a bandit I expected to see come through, but didn't. Now, Lonely's on that Jaeger, no surprise there. We're also looking at Ganjo on Mozzie. Okay, I can see where that's coming from, considering his position on attack. Mizu with Maestro, we've seen that before. The roaming Maestro, they don't see him coming, blah blah blah, you know, memes. And Sinretnov on Smoke is like literally the only operator he's allowed to play on defense.
Well, it's definitely should be a quite a banger of a...
Oh no, I just saw it. Red Sun Montagne. Here we go.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, one of those things that actually me and Ewok discussed on the first play week is, for Red Sun, it's you either upset him and ban Dokubi, or you either upset him and ban Maestro. Sorry, not Maestro, Montagne, as he is one of those few people that pioneers the usage of the French shield operator quite heavily, as initially been used by Lunametal of Vodafone Giants now.
Oh, it feels so nice to say that. Lunametal of Vodafone Giants. Ooh, Southeast Asia's going places. Ooh. Yeah.
It's definitely a very big pickup, and it's a proud moment as well, as the boys were on the grind for a fair long while. But what was not on the grind is Avixis' health here with the pick from Napier.
Yeah.
which is punished there.
Oh, and you know what? There goes the Zofia as well. Ganjo picking that up for a nice little trade. Mizu taking a lot of damage. Doesn't want to have to keep up with it too much longer, but maybe lands a couple of hits. But Lonely, oh, misses the shot and will be traded out. A little bit of a late reaction coming through, and Napiu with a double kill with the G36C, by the way. Hello.
I mean, G36C is a very nice kind of stable
Yeah.
weapon, albeit if you do compare the damage output between R4C and G36, it's definitely R4C is going to be on the winning side. But when you can use the ACOG, I mean, it's not a bad option.
Not a bad option at all, and it's honestly one of my favorite weapons to use, especially if you're using Ashe in a long-range breach sort of situation, because that's what her breaching round is supposed to be for, right? Long-range engagements. And long-range destruction. Kirisako's gonna drone out the one smoke behind the little mirror window, and it does look like Napiu's upstairs now. Maybe trying to get a little bit of verticality going on behind that shield. Sinranov playing with the open mirror, by the way.
Yeah, open mirror is definitely going to be a bit more riskier, but for now, for Napiu, it seems that he is on a prowl. He wants to start getting more of those kills, as let's say, it's a little bit sitting pretty here, as Kirisako now rendezvous with Napiu, and Ganjo is up to something. He knows that something might be up, and he is on a late roam. The gas grenade will be denying Monty to get any play, and there we go. There's a nice flank to take out Sinranov. As well as that, Kirisaku on the prowl as well. Ganjo is the last man standing, and unfortunately won't be netting himself a kill just yet, as Monty is quite low, but not out yet.
Ganjo, you can do this, my friend. You're low. You're not in the great position, but you got that rotation going, and you're a little bit safer now. They know where you are. You need to be able to pick up these next few kills, or it's all over. You've got half a tick left, and no, there we go. Xavier win round 7, and maybe... I don't want to say Lisey lost your momentum, because, I mean, they were even at the time the break came through, but a bit of a couple of free kills that shouldn't have gone through for Lisey. Definitely, Vixus should not have died to the open window. A bit of a mistake, a bit of a slip up, but nothing that they can't recover from. So they might go back down for a similar position. Hookah Lounge and Billiards this time though. They're changing the site completely. They don't want to play there anymore.
Yeah, here's the interesting though thing about between Lisey and Xavier. Xavier keeps on retrying a fair few times the site before they completely make a switch from it. Lisey so far, even throughout their first playday on the last week, they kept on continuously changing things up. If something didn't work, well, bad luck. We'll try it in a little bit later. For now, we're just going to switch things over and keep on rotating those sites to keep things fresh for themselves, to keep the enemy questioning, and maybe even keep questioning which strat for this very specific site they're going to use. So definitely curious to see how that will go for them.
If you guys are curious to see how it will go, get a good luck charm. Buy a Rainbow Six chibi today. All new chibis available in the store.
Gotta say that Finker one is looking really nice, actually.
Yeah, nice detail over the face with the scar as well, and I think the Glaz one's pretty quirky. Anyway, Baby Pig back here with the oh, no, that's not the okay, so they switched it and I got confused. Baby Pig coming back in now with the Twitch. Suits him because it's the transition from the SMG-11 over to the F2, and they're both very high DPS guns. Fantastic change over for Baby Pig, especially in a support role. The perfect support swap over, and a bit of a quick reaction coming through on that rappel as well. But Napiu now opening up that wall and a very sneaky angle into the hookah lounge does mean that they've got a good, decent amount of control coming through. Vixus moving the yokai around, maybe beneficial for the team coming through. Not sure just yet, but let's say are in a decent position, and they are controlling these angles. Lonely trying to find one on that rotation, and I'm not sure if they're going to find anything just too soon, but, you know, Xavier is doing their due diligence, trying to drone as much as they possibly can. Mizu getting picked up as the first kill. Unfortunately, it's not the best. That is a Mizu through the floor C4 double whammy bonanza being denied already. And it does look like, you know, Sinretnov actually is holding it out. Might just get peeked from the window rappel on Hookah, though, Cthulhu.
Yeah, could be going in for the peak, but for now, hasn't done it just yet. Red Sun is delegating all the needed information for now and just stands in a doorway menacingly staring at the enemies. And as it stands already, half a round gone, and Warbark could be on a prowl and could be able to find a few kills. But as it stands, for now, Xavier's push is stalling out a little bit.
Yeah, nothing too crazy just happening yet for these guys coming through. Hopefully we do see some a little bit more action coming through. Oh, spoke too soon. Not too much blood being traded here though, Cthulhu.
Yeah, not a whole lot at least just yet. With 52 seconds left to go, just as you say that, Hibana is gonna go down, as well as Nepu as well. Meanwhile, Warbark does manage to find himself a trade, so it is a 3v3 situation. Still has some place to move around for the whole Xavier roster, but a fantastic shot by Vixes will be taking him out nice and swiftly, as it is now, leaving Xavier questioning as to where they should go.
Is that a yokai main? Is this guy a Echo Master? I don't know, man. It does look like that though. Sid Randolph taking a little bit more damage than he should. Does hide behind the bomb itself. Does look like Baby Pig has to rotate over with a ooh, very nice kill into Sid Randolph, peeking out a little bit too much, but traded over by a Vixus by the look of it. No, it's Lonely. And now it's Red Sun versus the world. It does look like Lasay is gonna pick this up unless Lonely peeks his head out. But no, there we go. We got the plant. He's going to push as hard as he can. He has to. He doesn't have anything else to do. And does look like he will catch him in the ankles. And you know what? It was the Achilles heel after all. I'm so sorry. It does look like going into round 9, of course, pushing through. Cthulhu, how are you feeling about this next round coming through, man?
Definitely feeling quite
okay, so Napu still on that Zofia, but most importantly, Red Sun 00 still on that Montagne. We're seeing a swap coming out from Ash onto Ash. Well, they won't expect that, boys and girls.
They wouldn't be expecting that indeed at all, considering that, well, things will be are looking a little bit grim right now for Xavier, considering that they are continuously losing out on the firefights out here, and certainly something that you don't want to see if you're a Xavier fan. Whereas on the side of, let's say, things are looking quite nicely stacked out here, even potentially looking at a draw, if not a win, let's say, if things are going.
If they pull out a draw, honestly, I think it's going to be a fantastic time for them. I'm hoping that they do, because they honestly deserve it. They've worked very hard over this this long break, and it's about time, let's say, climb up from the bottom half of this ladder. Xavier, however, have to hold that first place spot. Napu trying to hold that in and actually give that to them right now with Sid Randolph being taken off the board, and that's just smoke.
Yeah, that's just smoke indeed. Losing that smoke very early into the round is definitely not what you want right now as a player from Lasay, but it certainly shouldn't be stopping them from fragging out. Lonely out here on a prowl as a Jaeger could potentially find himself a few kills, but as it stands, things are not looking all swell.
Not swell at all, and I'm honestly kind of worried how it's going to turn out. It does look like it's kind of interesting at the moment how it's panning in and out, so to speak. Yeah. Could very much be a very interesting turn of events, considering that so much drone utility is now being spent and not a single pick apart from that smoke has been done. Yeah, not at all. Okay. Oh, drone going through does mean that Warbark is on the prowl, and the rest of the team are trying to push in as best as they can. Oh, Lonely not catching his 6 does get taken out. Napu with a double onto Ganjo as well with oh no, sorry, that was 2 different operators, but there we go. Xavier win round 9, and it was quite flawless, fairly flawless.
It was quite flawless indeed. Very nice turn of events. Red Sun to finish things off kind of there for Xavier. We'll be putting them only 1 round away from match point and only 2 rounds from the map point as well. So quite close, but at the same time, let's say has been on Xavier's heels pretty much the whole matchup around here, so could still go into a draw, could still very much be the final end, resulting in a single point for each team.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it does at best. Looking at it 4-5 right now, let's say, and Xavier, it's like we're seeing two different rosters, very different rosters coming through. Well, not so different for let's say, but still the dynamics have completely changed for us here in the caster's desk, right, Cthulhu?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Completely agree with you.
yeah, don't forget to pick up your Pro League Amaru set. By the way, boys and girls, does look like we are moving into the next season, and you know you want to be able to get that as soon as you possibly can. Kali Pro League set coming soon, I'm sure.
Hey, Kali Pro League set is, I reckon, is going to be quite fly as well.
Oh man,
I'm
these
gonna lie.
new Pro League sets coming in, they're all kind of live, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they're all quite nice looking.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like I'm missing out if I don't get that Pro League set, but considering I don't play Amaru that much, I don't feel like I'm missing out. But you gotta complete that collection, know what I'm saying?
Yes, most definitely. Pro League sets also do contribute to the prize pools of the Pro League, as well as that goes into the revenue, I believe, of the Pro League team. So if you do want to support but want to do it quite inconspicuously and with a style, Pro League sets are the way to go. As well as that, there's the pilot program skins that are still available for everyone to purchase. But
Yes.
for now, to get back into the game, Ian, what could happen here with now Xavier leading in the points?
Well, they gotta deal with this Avixis first, because, you know, Avixis, he's not doing much, but he's holding down a very strong position. They're not pressuring him as much as they should, because he's all alone on that kitchen site. They have a little bit of verticality going now. Baby Pig trying to drone it out a little bit. Napew as well, trying to bring in some of those breaching charges. Oh, Mizu trading a little bit in and out, but then unfortunately decides to rotate at the wrong time. Warbark will win that trade and actually leave that on his own, quite healthy and quite safe. Avixis takes a little bit of damage, has to rotate a little bit into a safer position, but oh my gosh, Lonely finds the wandering Napew dropping down randomly from the sky. Don't know why it's raining, operators, but you know, it certainly does. Sid Randolph trades a little bit, now sees that he's facing a Montagne, doesn't have much else. Toxic Babe and the gas gonna drop him down, and Red Sun gets taken out through attrition. A fantastic play by both players, and Lonely as well, picking up that kill into Red Sun. Sinrinoff getting traded by Warbuck with the IQ upstairs, and Ganjo trying to hold these halls all by himself. It does look like a 2-on-2 situation with Lisey in the advantage currently.
Yeah, but at the same time, the time is still allowing Xavier to go for some of the longer plays. It seems that Lonely, though, still has that thing covered, and it is all up to Warbark to actually bring things back for Xavier. Otherwise, they are staring into the fact that there will be a 5-5 scoreline. Nicely done by Lonely, as it is an ace.
My boy! That is... oh my gosh! I can hear Lonely now with the woo! That is my man himself, Lonely. Doing a fantastic job leading the team up in those frags and actually pushing through, getting that ace. That's why, and I mean, you said it before, that's why he's in that top contender spot for MVP. The man pulls out stuff like this on a day-to-day basis. Can you blame him? The superstar himself, Lonely.
Can't blame at all, no. After such a fantastic performance in the round and managing to ace against Xavier, it's definitely quite noteworthy for him. But for now, they do need to close things out. They can't just leave it out on a 5-5 scoreline and then call it a day. We are going to be going into full set of rounds for this map number 1, where it's going to be decided whether it's going to be a 3 points to only one team or a split of 1 point each.
Oh, man.
It is quite a nail biter here.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have overtime here, so I still think that a draw is a perfectly fine result. It just means that both teams couldn't
reach mutual agreement.
Well, they came to a mutual agreement. You know, 1 point,
well,
you,
yeah,
1
sorry,
point for
yeah,
me.
that's
You know,
right.
we'll leave it at that. Thanks, boys and girls. We'll move on. But considering that Avixis is taking a pretty interesting position, most likely coming back to side, obviously, but playing with that aggressive Echo, it's kind of interesting. I'm liking this position he's got, and these very interesting yokai positions as well.
Yeah, interesting will be a bit of an understatement. There's some very nice positioning.
Yeah, some big brain positioning there.
Some big brain, yeah, like you said, big brain positioning of the yokai drones should allow, let's say, to keep thrusting themselves forward and into the potential of victory out here.
Yeah.
But now, Lonely is back onto the Jaeger and he is contesting Sunrise all by his lonesome.
Wow. You know what? It's Lonely at the top, and he's just gonna have to fight all by himself. Yeah.
Indeed.
It's just the life you choose when you just make your name something like Lonely. You just say that, you know what, my teammates are just there for extras.
Well, talking about extras, for now Kirisaka will be taking out one of those extras, as Ganjo will be going down to the hands of him, but Warbark will be traded out pretty quickly, and as well as Mizu to follow things up onto Napiu. Very nicely done and nicely coordinated, as Xavier did end up losing an IQ and Zafia, which is quite a hefty trade for an alibi.
Yeah, they're moving forward quite well. It does look like Kirisaku's actually pushing up, and he will be dropping down with that drone into the building. Maybe bring in a little bit more information. Lonely with his teammate here, trying to double up on that defense. Holding the cool vibe stairs now. Mizu is just trying to just stay alive as long as possible. I'm surprised they haven't brought out the Vulcan shields, but I suppose they don't really need that. Red Sun picking up a nice kill into Vixus. There goes your Echo, and there goes a lot of that information. I mean, the Yokais is still up, but there goes your disorientation, there goes your concussion. And, ooh, Lonely with a very forward position here. They're not going to expect him to be there, but they will expect him to be around the corner, that's for sure.
Yeah, meanwhile, with the off-screen kill, Mizu will be getting rid of Red Sun, as it is now a 1v3, with the Kirisako going down to the hands of Sinrandov, and Baby Pig, all by his lonesome, will be going down as well. Let's say to draw things out, and it seems that the Giants that were in play week number 1 seeming to be just straight away dwarfed out here by Lasay.
Boys and girls, if you want to play as good as Lonely, make sure you get that C9 skin as well for your Jaeger carbine, because it's all in the skins. It makes it go faster, makes it more accurate. We all know this. These pilot program skins are installed with a little bit of extra
skill.
boost, extra skill, some extra legal hacks. And obviously,
well, I wouldn't call them illegal hacks, but well, hacks per se. But nonetheless, yeah, they definitely give you some boost in confidence for your plays, and
they make you a player like Lonely. They make you a player like Lonely. They just transform you into this ace beast.
Well, for now, with the ace beast on board, let's say are on the match point, so they have guaranteed themselves straight away at least a point. So this could work out for them quite well, but I don't think they are satisfied with just a single point. I think they just might be aiming and gunning for that triple set of points. And if they do make it work, this is going to be quite a formidable upset, gotta say.
Yeah, you know what? Let's say 1 point off taking a win over Xavier. How much of an upset is that, my guy? Would you ever have imagined this to be on the table? Because we honestly came into our pre-game lobby and we were just talking to each other like, oh yeah, Xavier versus Lasay. Let's hope it's not like the same as last time. It could be a very big loss. Would I be surprised? No. But here we are, very surprised that Lasay are actually in the lead over Xavier.
Yeah, Lasay doing some really nice work. It can be seen that plenty of work did go into preparing for this matchup, and it seemed that Xavier are not having a whole lot of really response for that per se, where we do see Napiu, who consistently keeps on rushing in and getting into the building pretty quickly, but there's no really emphasis, no real emphasis from there on.
You know what? I just feel like Lonely pushing up quite slowly down this the hallway here, second floor, checking the stairs in the main hall as well. But doing the due diligence, Xavier are doing all the droning as possible. Mizu's already taken down. That's a lot of the goo mines actually taken off the board and actually out of the game. So unfortunately, they won't be able to have that available to them. That's about, I think at that timestamp, 5 more goos that they could have churned out there. But Vixus picks up 1 kill onto Napiu, and that's a nice little headshot coming in for him as well. Vixus should be able to bring in a little bit more information with that Yokai drone, and Baby Pig and Red Sun pushing in to the A site. Uncontested. We'll have that plant going down, and people won't know until it's too late. A nice little vault coming over. Warbark gets a Vixus, and it's starting to look a bit pear-shaped for, let's say. Sin written off on a little fragment hairline of health. We'll have to push through here. Lonely drops in, picks up Warbark with a nice kill. Does look like he dodges a couple of bullets. I don't know how he made it through that, but one more member on the other side of the blue bar here should be able to help. Gas blocking it out. A little bit of damage. Oh, fantastic play from Lonely. One more outside the window, and it does look like Kirisaku picks up Sid written off. It does look like a 1-2 situation with the diffuser going down. They won't be able to pick it up. He has to stick that diffuser. Tries to go for the frags, but unfortunately Xavier had the upper hand at that situation. Good half coming through, and they will end on a tie.
Yeah, nice tie, nice draw. Both teams getting 1 point each, and for that matter, actually, Lisey and Xavier will be sticking to pretty much just about the same set of standings. Both of them gaining points. Both of them initially were at 6 points as well. So all in all, well done, well played. A draw for the first map, but we still have one more between these two teams to be played out, which will be at after a short break. But for now, though, Ian, what went wrong there for Xavier, as it seemed to have been completely deconstructed over and over again, and they have been in shambles a fair few times?
They just underestimated. They underestimated Lisey Esports. Don't do that. Never underestimate your opponent, especially when your opponent has a new roster. You also have a new roster. You don't have as much experience with these players as you did your last roster. And yes, you might say that, these guys are all star-studded players. But at the same time, we have to realize that as long as you're entering with a new roster, and if both teams are entering with new rosters, everything's a gamble. You have to expect your opponent is going to be as strong as you are. And they let the first few rounds slip. So moving into these next rounds here, we're hoping to see it come back with the next matchup. We'll see you guys back after the break. Don't go anywhere. My name is Ian Lansing. I'm joined by Cthulhu. We'll see you guys soon. We're back, boys and girls, with another matchup coming through. We've got 3 more, including this one here. Another matchup coming up for, let's say, Esports versus Xavier, and then afterwards, Cthulhu, who are we facing?
We will be seeing a Q Confirm versus 1122 to play things out. And to be honest, I am very much excited for the continuation of this, the Xavier versus Lasay game, as well as the upcoming one. But for now, let us take a look at the map pick for match and play in game number 2. Coastline and Cafe will be the standard ban for the first ones. Consulate and Clubhouse will be gone once again. This time they are going to be the first bans to go.
Yep, so things are different this time around, and let's say banning Clubhouse again is kind of standard. We saw that just last round as well. Border coming through as a ban. Okay, I understand. It's not necessarily one of their best maps, although it was pretty good at one point for, let's say. But Bank being picked up, it's a map that, you know, let's say are quite confident with. Xavier have a lot of expensive history on Bank as well. Both good and both bad.
Yeah, so both of the teams should be able to show some good performances, especially after the fact that the same managed to draw out, for those who are just tuning in. They managed to draw with Xavier on Consulate, on Coastline, which is a pretty good feat for Lasay to accomplish, considering that they are versing what is considered a top 2 team of Southeast Asia. So definitely a very nice job, but they still have one more map, that is Bank, to play against the Southeast Asian Giants. Curious, very curious to see how this will play out for them, as both teams has made some very questionable decisions on their plays during the first map. So I feel like it's going to be a rather, for now, a game of who can essentially make less mistakes here.
I mean, that's every game really, right?
Well, yeah, technically, but in this very specific
particularly
position, this game,
yeah,
it's it's which team makes the least amount of mistakes, as both of these teams did make a numerous amount of them.
And there we go, Xavier versus Lasay Esports coming in on Bank, loving some of these overcast shots of some of these iconic sites here for Rainbow Six Siege on Bank Pro League Southeast Asia. Welcome back to Day 3, Week 2 of Season 11. Ian Lanseden joined by the only one and only Constantine Cthulhu. And excited to see how this is going to turn out. Lasay Esports turning up pretty well in the last match up. 6-6 in a very tight, close match, ending up with 1 point each. Both teams are in the same standings right now for the Pro League. We'll see how that lasts over the next day or so. Hopefully we see some of these other teams come in and capitalize on this tie coming through.
Oh yeah. Well, for now, it is a Dokkaebi and a Nomad once again banned out. Xavier being quite steady with their bans, as well as, let's say, they know how deadly can Red Sun be on that Dokkaebi, so they full on get him, disallow him to play that operator. Curious if the bans are going to change on the defensive side, as Mira is usually quite a frequent appearance in the ban phase, but Valkyrie is the one that will be actually banned out by Xavier. Now, for Lasay leaving the last ban to go, and I'm curious whether they will hesitate about it for a long while or not.
And yeah, I mean, Dokkaebi, Nomad, Valkyrie getting taken out there. What else could they remove from Bank? Mira. Ban Mira. Do it.
At this point, that's all they really need to do. It will be clash, so Mira actually will be making it through the ban phase, which is quite a rarity nowadays.
Absolutely. We don't see that coming in very often, and most people don't want to have to contest that, but this time they're feeling very confident with it, Cthulhu.
They're feeling playful to toy around with the idea of having a mirror, and interestingly enough, Avixis this time will be potentially teasing Warden or potentially using him for that
you won't
position. He probably will
put
a 6-pick.
Don't.
Yeah, that maybe. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it will be a castle.
Okay.
6th pick. But I
Yeah.
mean, nonetheless, could still
Yeah.
be. Yeah. You what?
No, I mean.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay. Quite unfortunate that won't be seeing, for now, any more of the playtime, but nonetheless, interestingly enough, it is a top floor choice for the defense.
It's a good start. It's pretty strong. They have a lot of long angles that they have to cover here. But it does look like Avixis swapping to the castle is probably the smart choice. Let's say going for a pretty standard defense so far. Standard rotations coming through, nothing too fancy. But, you know, Castle himself, I'm interested to see where he's going to position this castle. Most likely for a impact trick on the double wall.
Well, yeah, the castle is a bit of a 50-50 appearance for the top floor, as he can be quite useful if you want to just full-on block out some of the sidelines and have some extra safe spot for yourself. But he also can be a bit of a double-edged sword occasionally, if used incorrectly. Meanwhile, it is a Mozzie on the roam. And I'm curious to see how will this go out, as Napier is already rushed up. He does manage to take out Sin, who did try to make a rotation, and just like that, early into the round, have that early advantage.
And they're just capitalizing on it. They're pushing it so hard, and you know what? It's just crumbling. It's just a warm-up. They just lost their momentum. They get it back eventually. I believe in Lisey. It's not over just yet till the fat lady sings. And you know what? The fat lady's still eating her lunch. So, it's still good. They still have a good chance left available to them. Ganjo's got to rotate out of there. Mizu's still hanging around the corner here. Actually, on the sofa. Oh, no, on the table by the reception as well. Pushing through. Kiwisaku gets that wall open. Does look like Lonely has to do a little bit more work. But what's new here for Lonely on that team? Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Ooh.
Well, while Lonely is defending his position at the meeting room, most of these Xavier are rallying around the place. All that does continue singing, and right now a very unfortunate turn of events for Ganjo, as Napier does manage to find him, but with a slither of health, and now Warbark to take out Lonely. It is all up to Mizu to try to make it at least not a flawless round, and that he will be able to do. Baby Pig to go down, as right now Xavier did manage to make it work at the end. Warbark to finish things off, and the first round to go into the hands of Xavier.
I mean, they were all low, so he could have done it. He could have made it through, but I feel like he was just, I mean, it's quite obvious. He was plainly outnumbered, unfortunately. So, Avixis teasing that Warden again. Is he going to bait them into thinking he's so swap off? I'm thinking yes, but Mizu on Pulse also makes sense. Yep, he's switching off. How dare you? Switching to him. Okay, he's at least switching to Mirror. So this time going down to lockers and CCTV, at least it makes sense. I
mean, yeah,
a bit of a rough start. How can you not use her if she's available, right?
Yeah, if she's available, especially for the side that is CCTV and locker, she is extremely potent and will be able to allow a fair few really nice and well-timed plays comparable to trying to play things off just the sound. So surely for, let's say, this will be definitely a boost for the potential that they can execute here and to prevent the plan to go down. But the main question here is how aggressive can Xavier continue being? Because that first round is one of those really rare moments where Napier was just allowed to essentially rush up, roll up to that janitor's closet, and pretty much take out any opposition there without any contention.
Yeah, a little bit more prep here. Mirror going down as usual. Not sure if anyone's watching. It's not like they've got a Twitch or anything like that, so no big deal. But they have to be wary of whether or not they're gonna know if I'm not sure if she actually got seen by a drone. I don't my memory's not that great these days. But if they didn't see the mirror come through, it's gonna be a big hit. Because they're not gonna expect it. Lonely's being very daring, peeking down this There's a little sewer entrance here, but will they live through this or not? I'm not too sure.
Well, for now, it is only Red Sun that is actually planning to go in for the push, and the man is back onto Monty. Will be attempting to make that play.
Well,
As it stands, really, things are not looking too well for him just yet, as he will need some help very soon.
yeah, the rest of the team are trying to rotate. A couple of more members are pushing through. A little bit more defense coming through from the main lobby, rotating upstairs. Ganjo in for that flank. Will they be able to make something out of it is another question. Mizu has a couple of more on that pulse and that cardiac sensor. Doesn't see anyone just yet, but Baby Pig is on a mission to try to support the rest of the team, holding it down and waiting for the right moment to strike. Napew, however, not using the sledgehammer to the best of his abilities, considering that flooring is all concrete.
What I am questioning, what I am questioning here is the position of Ganjo, who is on that roam and on that lurk, and he should be able to have a very nice drop onto whoever is going to be trying to contest that eastern skyline.
Hopefully things go well. Warbach is pushing through, does drone a little bit more, and Vixus does notice that, hey, that's a Montagne. Does hear the plant go down, gas does stop him, C4 goes out a little bit, poorly coordinated. If they put the smoke out, they shouldn't have C4'd.
Well, the smoke really ended up missing and didn't really do any damage, so it was quite a warranted C4, but as it stands, the plant is actually going to go down, and it will be quite successful. There's the C4, but to no avail, it won't be doing any damage.
Yeah, you know what? I just noticed that there's a silencer on that Vector. I'm not sure why.
That's an extended barrel.
Oh, it's the extended barrel on the Vector? Interesting.
Yeah, same thing that the Kicks actually ran in on the previous few playdays, where yeah, he ended up saying that it was a suppressor, but because not a whole lot of people really use the extended barrel on the Vector, it just looks just about the same, really.
Okay, well, there we go. It's the extended barrel. But all in all, that round ended the way you thought it would. Just a little bit messy. Let's say not very coordinated, losing a little bit at mojo and the timing there. And just some poorly placed utility. No big errors, just a lot of small errors.
Yeah, and all of those small errors ended up stacking up quite substantially into one big error and a loss to a round. Interestingly, to me though, that for round number 3, we are seeing a Blackbeard choice from Xavier. Usually, when the team ends up going in for that Blackbeard pick, it's when they end up losing a substantial amount of firefights, and they just want something to have something more, a little bit more meat behind that gun. So usually that's when the Blackbeard is being picked out, but it seems that Xavier are just on a high horse. They would just don't want to hold themselves back, and they want to take all those firefights as much as they want.
Just gotta coordinate it and make sure everything's timely, to be honest. Sinretnoff now in that mute. A bit of a swap over from one SAS operator to the next. But the M90A1 coming in quite hot with a little bit more of rotations coming out there. But you know what else is coming up? A nice little reminder that the new chibis are available. Don't forget to support the game, support the developers, and make sure you get your exclusives before they're all sold out. Also, get pilot skins. Also get pilot skins.
Pilot skins and the chibis are really nice. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be copying the chibis myself, but for now, looking at the round itself, Lonely is out there on the prowl, but will be completely shut down. Will be completely, absolutely obliterated by Napew, albeit that the Blackbeard is now on a slither of health.
Yeah, he didn't even shoot him in the bulletproof shield. Just reacted a little bit too late, and Blackbeard saw him first. Had the better scope at that point, and at that angle and that positioning, just won the duel. Vixus is going to take down his own barricade, try to pick up a nice kill, sprays and prays, and doesn't land any at all. Unfortunately, could have left that up, but a bit of a desperate attempt to try to pull that one in. Hopefully we don't see them get too antsy with all of this, but does look like Napew is actually going up for a very slow, sneaky push up the back.
it could be a very powerful position as well for Napier. That even considering that he does have a barely any health, he could actually make things work pretty well. But for now, it is Sindrinov that is making things work with the SMG-11, as that is Thermite out of the game. But Ganjo, taking some damage, will be forced to fall back into the open area.
Alright, he's pulling back, and it does look like Napier is going to be trying to fight a duel from the bottom up like that. Okay. I mean, needle in a haystack at that point. Baby Pig taking out Ganjo does mean that they are one down, but it's still kind of even because Napier might have that bulletproof shield, but he is still paper at this point. One bullet tagging him in the waist, and there we go. Out of the game. A couple more shots go out there. Baby Pig doesn't see anyone just yet, and Warbach has to double up backwards before pushing in too aggressively. Vixus goes for the reload, does rotate upstairs. And maybe might run into Baby Pig. A couple of pings coming out there with the stationary default cameras. Does look like a nice kill going from Warbach to Sinrenov. Does pick him up, and Avixis comes in for a little bit of a late but timely flank. Fantastic push onto Baby Pig, and there goes one of your top operators, and it's a 1-2 situation with Mizu out with a knife. The shield kill will result in a bit of a bind for Avixis, but he will lose that duel, and Xavier win round 3.
So far, a 3-round streak for Xavier, as it seems that they have received that wake-up call, essentially. That was the draw against Lasey on Coastline, and seeming to be bringing things back a little bit, but I won't call it just yet that they're full-on bulldozering, as we saw a fair few times when a team would gain 3-4 points and proceed to completely lose it all, and end up losing the 3 points as well. So it's still, nothing is yet lost by to Lasey, so things can definitely work out here for either one of those teams.
It's still anyone's game. It's still very early. We're not even close to halftime just yet. So we've seen bigger upsets. I mean, we saw a pretty big upset last week, right, Cthulhu?
Well, it wasn't as much of a upset per se, but to be honest, the way how things really went for Southeast Asia on the first play week, pretty self-explanatory, really. Q confirmed to take the win over 200 degrees, pretty expectable. Giants struggling against 1122, yeah, that could be a little bit of a out there kind of upset.
Yeah.
Lasey did manage to get a win over Valor, but at that point it was rather more of a case of which team had more of a Pro League experience, and Xavier over Script was, well, it was Xavier over Script. It was a 7-2 and a 7-1. A total of 3 rounds that were lost by Xavier, and comparative to what we saw today already, this is a completely different Xavier roster, honestly.
They're a very different team, and we can't even classify them as the same, to be honest, because
they started out on the same roster in season 11, so it's just their overall behavior has been a little bit questionable, to say at the very least.
I mean, we have to just regard them as a completely different team at this point. Their behavior is different, like you said, and you know their mentality is different. Who are these guys anymore? You know, Ganjo going to be getting on that drone, bringing a little bit more intel, but nice transition from the Warbark taking out Mizu like that. A pulse being taken off the board that early is a big no-no, especially when you're playing downstairs, and you kind of need that pulse inside the vault.
Yeah, Pulse is definitely a big of a oof of a loss for Lasey, but a very nice pickup by Xavier. But I don't think they are aware that there is Lonely up and around the top hallway, and then actually the Habana charges will be allowed to be detonated. But I don't think the Jaeger will be tolerating any time more the play by the Japanese player.
Surely this is a great flank coming in, lest he slippeth that shot. But you know what? He sees... Oh, he doesn't see him just yet, but they know what room they're in. He's just waiting for them to peek their head out. Ganjo's waiting for the right time to throw in a C4, maybe upward. But, Warbuck running in quite loudly, and oh my gosh, Lonely doesn't hear him despite all of it. Maybe their comms were just a bit too loud, but an easy kill for Warbach going in will result in an easy trade and an easy pick up for them. The window is down, and it does look like Vixus yet again being shot from the backside here from these hatches. Does look like all the members are dropping. It does look like Sinrov picks one up, picks up another, tries to reload in the smoke, but it's not enough. They see his feet and they will pick it up. Napew cleans up the round. Capital definitely looking quite strong.
Oh yeah, that push was quite well coordinated, and I gotta say, Warbark managed to read it into Jaeger's position very well, considering that I don't think that Jaeger really fired a single shot out there to reveal his position per se. So very well done all in all. So 4-0 so far in the first half, and it is Xavier on attack on bank, ladies and gentlemen, which is the scariest part, because the moment Xavier will go on defense, things might get even scarier up and around here.
Does look like it so far. Very interested to see how this turns out.
Oh yeah, with so far the roster of the attack has not been really seeing as much of a change. We do have occasional swaps here and there, but it stays pretty stable as it is. 2 hard breaches, 1 utility disabler, and really a shield and a twitch. So all in all, pretty stable lineup. Whereas on the side of let's say they are bringing in a dock for this very side, which should allow a nice long angle ability. A nice ability to hold long angles for let's say esports.
5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Well, with Warbark and the rest of the team already now spawning in, for now, Xavier Esports will be starting to make their way over to all the doorways and all the entrances as the drones will be coming in. For let's say right now, the situation looking a little bit grim considering that they have not won a single round here on bank so far, even while they were on defense, which is considered a bit more of a dominant side for most parts of it. So as it stands, Kurosako is the man on the clock. He is the one who will be taking care of Lonely, and that is the star player of let's say esports that will be going down, which is quite unfortunate right now for let's say.
Alright, does look like a Vixus is just hanging tight down over behind the president's desk. We'll be rotating over. It does look like a couple of more shots go in as well. And ooh, Napew taking a lot of damage but trades it out onto Mizu. There we go. Another kill for Xavier Esports. Very confident on bank so far. Red Sun pushing in with that shield. Will he be able to get anything going? And does look like, okay, Kurisaku. Very aggressive position so far. Prone Legion in the corner. Does look like a Vixus is panicking. Doesn't know exactly where to peek his head, but has to rotate out of there. He's not in a very safe position, and he will be punished for that rotation as well. A late rotate coming from Sinrednov will mean that it is down to just Ganjo. The new boy himself has to pick up an entire ace all by himself, and it's starting to look very grim for him, Cthulhu. With 1 minute left in the clock, he has the space available to him. He has to just stall them out, but you know what? They're going to close in on him very soon, and it doesn't look good for him at all. A flawless round for Xavier Esports on round 5 does mean that the Say is starting to be put into a very precarious and very dangerous position.
It definitely is a very precarious position, like you said. A 5-0 so far throughout the first half, and it's seeming that the Say don't really have a whole lot of answers for this kind of situation, really. Unfortunately for them, this is their last chance to try to bring at least a single point for themselves on the defense, and that desperate attempt will be made with Goyo and Vigil as well being changed over in changed into on Teller's Office and Archives, the site that had a decent idea but unfortunately had no success.
Whew. Well, Goyo coming in is something new for, let's say, esports, and a very different playthrough coming as a whole.
Yeah, it is definitely a different play indeed, albeit that it was quite unsuccessful on the last attempt by them, but maybe they will be able to learn on their mistakes. Maybe they will have something slightly different for the final round. And as it stands, bringing in a Vigil is definitely going to assist the roam, especially when you have Lonely on Jaeger, who has been pretty much attempting and making some of those big plays, especially on a map that is Coastline.
Yeah, well, they've got to pull out all the stops now. This is as much and as far as they are allowed to give. As much space as they're allowed to give Xavier before Xavier just get put into that position where, you know what? It's beyond saving at that point. You know, they're beyond, how do I say this? Redemption. And the best they get will be a tie. They don't want that. Not at all.
Oh.
Ganjo here will be rotating down. The drone does see him. You had one job, Vigil. One job.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate discovery that Vigil is now there. Will be forced for him to fall back. ERC 7 is fully charged and ready to go. Whereas for now, it is Napier on the hunt and on the prowl. He wants to find that roamer as quickly as possible before he deals any damage to his team.
Yeah, but you know what? They have a couple of shields up on the board. Ganjo being taken out there. Oh, and you know what? His teammate being taken out there as well. Avixis came to the rescue, but got punished for it. Should not have done that. Smoke being taken out. Unfortunately, not probably the best operator to lose this early into the round.
Exactly. Losing Smoke is something that you don't really want to have happening, especially on this side. And as it stands, ooh, a bit of an unfortunate mistiming as well. Just like that, it is a complete fall and nearly a flawless round from, let's say, as it does end in a, I believe, just about a team kill as well.
Not completely sure, but you know what? It does mean that let's say are being absolutely handed to them. So was the last match a fluke, or was it just very good preparation and very poor preparation for this map?
I would say that they were quite prepared for Coastline, as it was considered one of the better maps for Xavier. And Bank, like you said before, it's a bit of a hit or miss for Xavier, so maybe it's a correlation of the fact that Lasey didn't really expect Xavier to start popping off, and two, just Xavier having a good time after being warmed up and having that wake-up call after map number 1.
Yeah, so just looking at it coming through, interested to see how they're going to play this out. Now that they've swapped roles, will Lasey actually be able to save this and bring in a second tie? If they do, it'll be a Christmas miracle. A little bit belated, but a Christmas miracle nonetheless. We'd hope to see it, and we'd love to see it. You know what? I hate to see a 7-0. That's something I don't want to have to experience here in the Pro League.
Well, it's certainly on board, Ian, considering that we are only one round away, and Xavier, at the very least, already guaranteed themselves another point. So, for now, 7-0 is very much seeming to be real, but not over yet, as we need to go through the defense of Xavier as it is. So, keen to see how things will work out for him. Capcan, though, definitely going to be an interesting choice. A nice run out.
Are you joking? Are you serious?
Oh my god, can he get on the third kill?
No way you get disrespected like that. No, you can't. Oh, he's still there.
Oh my.
Oh,
he's still there.
No, and he's getting away with. Who even goes to this side of the map? Who gets behind this?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, there it is. Finally the trades are coming in. Mizu to finally start going in for the push, but he did take the chunky amount of damage from that Capcan trap for his trouble, and we'll be able to find the Jaeger. Can he find the Capcan though, as now he does alert of his position?
Oh my gosh, almost get the second kill, has to rotate back. C70 will not be enough to save him just yet, but you know what? Avixis and Mizu, if anyone's able to save this, it's them. So, we've got a Jackal, we've got a Thermite. The the utility available to us pretty strong in terms of actually finding these operators and actually making a decision. And they have that breach available to them, so they can play with the terrain just a little bit. But is it going to be enough? Because they do have the firepower available to them. Yes, I do think those guns and the players behind them are fantastic. But they're not too outnumbered. They've leveled it just a little bit.
Oh yeah, they leveled indeed, and right now for Red Sun, his position is very much potent to play from, as he has plenty of cover to play from. But for Vixus right now, he needs to assist Mizu. Mizu, being barely on any health right now, has the element of surprise, but the moment he reveals his position, either via the Guman or via just killing Warbark flat out, he will be pretty much a yummy stack for any remaining defender.
We got Mizu, very sneaky. Oh my gosh, a late reaction actually sets him off and actually puts him in a bad position, because now they know where he is. They peeked it before, they didn't know he was there. But now they definitely know where he is, doubling up with the Capcan EDD and the signal and the beepers. And oh, there we go. A clean round for Xavier. Disrespectful as it is, but a clean round, and I suppose well deserved. Ooh.
7-0.
Ouch.
7-0, a contrasting defeat for Lasey after what seemed to have been a very impressive map 1 being 6-6. This time it results in a complete pub stomp by Xavier Esports, as Napier sitting on that sweet 13-3 scoreline here.
An actually disgusting scoreline. Only besting Lonely's scoreline last game, where he went 11 frags up. But Xavier Esports won 7-0. Very dominating performance. Definitely showing up and saying that, you know what, Coastline was a mistake. And this is definitely where we're sitting and where we're very comfortable at. So thanks for the warm-up, let's say, but here's the door.
Pretty much, essentially, if things are going that way, Xavier definitely might have been using this as a warm-up, the first map, because it was certainly not in the best shape at all during Coastline, but Bank, completely stark difference, completely 180, where they just did not let Lasey take any more rounds, and, well, there we go. They, at the end of the day today for themselves, they are going away with 4 points total, which will boost them quite substantially up on the leaderboard, but we still have 2 more games to see, which is the Q Confirm versus Team 1122.
And we're not too sure how these games are going to go. Surely a very interesting turn of events, but we'll see after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
such a sad face? Why such a sad face? Why such a sad face? Now you call like a bitch, but you know I caught your bluff. Now you are the victim, stop, I had enough.
Well, hello. We're back.
Hello there.
Well, we are back after a little bit of a break, but we are coming back for another matchup. Cthulhu, who are we going to see?
Q-Confirm versus Team 1122. Two teams that have been seeing a few changes to the names and changes to the rosters as well throughout the time. Q-Confirm being the older Xavier roster, whereas 1122 has a bit of a weird history where back in the season 7 and even older, they were a force to be reckoned with, and one of those teams that were feared by even the team that is now Vodafone Giants. And now they have obviously taken a step back from what it was before, and now they're back into Pro League after a fair few struggles. So it's a very interesting matchup on our hands. But first, let's take a look at the lineup of Q-Confirm. Lycolis, Healthcare, Paki, Producer Boom, and Hajime. So out of all of them, it is Paki that will be replacing Red Sun, who was on the roster before. So it's definitely been an interesting roster, but they have seen a bit of a fallback from their previous stand, from their previous success.
If I remember correctly, Healthcare OG is literally the OG of making sure you need healthcare. Team 1122, Edmund, Charlie, Jimmy's, Dabu, and CT. I'm not sure if CT is Chang Tong, Hong Kong player. If I'm not wrong, but great to see some of these names come back in. If these guys are the Hong Kong team, and I think they are. Fantastic to see,
yes.
Yep, and fantastic to see them come back in. I've been following Chen Tong's stream for quite a bit, and definitely a talented player that deserves to be back in the Pro League. So welcome back in CT. Team 112, hope to see an interesting game coming out from you guys versus these veteran players. But I've said it time and time again, man. These Thai players are dangerous, dude. They are very
Honestly,
experienced.
So far, if one thing that today has taught us is the fact that all of our predictions can be thrown out into the pretty much garbage can, Ian, because we've been predicting that and talking prior to the stream that Xavier will end up bulldozering. They ended up drawing on Coastline, and only then, after warming up, they managed to actually bring it back to a 7-0. So maybe here will be a similar case here, but for now, on the map bans, Bank and Clubhouse are the first one to be banned out. Consulate and Coastline, the double of the Triple C, actually fully banned out from the map pool.
And you know what? 112 banning out Coastline is like, you know what? We studied you guys, and healthcare on Coastline is dangerous. Let's not take him there at all. Let's not take him to Villa either. But Border being banned out is no surprise. considering they're not that great on border, but Cafe being picked up is like a big yes. Thank you. I love Cafe.
All Cafe indeed is going to be the treat for you here, Ian. As interestingly enough, we did see last week a double Cafe play as well on a play day, so curious if this will be the case here as well. But as it is, yes, Cafe to be played out is definitely going to be a very peculiar map to see both of those teams clash. I am quite hesitant to even say which team would have the advantage here, as both of those teams, I'd say, have somewhat of a similar, a similar playstyle to a certain degree, as well as that similar chance to really grant themselves those 3 points per map. So honestly, could even go down to a draw as well, like similar to what we saw in the first map.
I don't disagree, Cthulhu. Honestly, anything could really happen here. We didn't see a fantastic performance from Q Confirmed, but they have star-studded players. They have a fantastic roster, and surely a veteran Hong Kong team should be able to pull out something just as spicy and just as amazing. So, getting into the game, hopefully we see some interesting strategies coming, because Cafe is still a map that's, I mean, fairly fresh compared to the rest of the maps being used in Pro League.
Oh yeah, it's still one of those uncharted territories for a fair few teams, and it definitely could play in hand for one of these two that are just about to clash. Good luck, have fun to come out from both of those teams, and you confirm I'm not wasting a single bit of time on the ban phase. It is Thatcher that will be going onto the bench once again. The person that despises anything that is unmanned and has a laser sight, unfortunately won't be seeing any action today.
I mean, we're looking at the second ban, and Capital is not a big surprise coming in from Cafe Dostoevsky. Has a lot of strength coming in from that skylight, and then also being able to shoot and flash out anyone within that freezer. 2 seconds left, 1, and next ban coming out will be a mirror. So, also not a big surprise here. Does have some strengths, but not necessarily the biggest ban.
I mean, Mira can shape up a fair few sites for Cafe and can make it quite hard to play against. But yeah, she's definitely not one of those operators, at least in my opinion, that can full-on flip around the whole outcome. And interestingly enough, it will be Kaid that will be finishing up the lineup of the band operators, and we'll be seeing light at least for this very map. So no vertical denial. That was the word that I was looking for. No vertical denial will be there in effect for Q-Confirm, at least for the first half. And Bar and Cocktail Lounge will be the first choice of a defense, with a setup of the operators that pretty much can cover all of the ground needed. Whereas on the side of 1122, bringing in a more or less of a stock standard roster, even more stock standard now that Twitch is now off the board and IQ is now replaced her place. Pretty much both of the teams seem to have set things up pretty thoroughly.
So, healthcare being on Maestro is interesting because the guy does very well on almost any operator, to be honest. But I'd imagine him to be more of a run and gunner, giving his skill set. Like Hollis on Valkyrie, stock standard, quite a usual pick for the Maestro. I was going to call him the Maestro, but guess not anymore. Now that I'm catching myself.
Well, he's the Maestro of playing on Valkyrie, you could say.
Absolutely is, and a fantastic player, given his statistics and his time on it. Deployable shield as a gadget being picked up, though. Very interesting, not going with a C4, which I would imagine Valkyrie being more inclined to. I'd imagine the deployable shield being something that you'd pick if you had a Goyo on your team, but not having a Goyo on your team, it's like I would hope that you took the C4.
It could be just a misplay and maybe just a mixed up.
Let's hope so.
Really loadout, because a fair few times that happens, and it happens with the best of us. So honestly could be the similar case here. But like always, seems to still be able to make it work. He will have that deployable shield just covering him for that hold onto the skylight.
Surely, it could turn out quite well for them. Peaky here, or Packy. I'm not sure how you want to say it, but
Yeah, packet, yeah.
Packy. They're
Yeah.
holding a nice little angle there. Zimmy. Jimmy, so I call him Zimmy, my bad. Jimmy will be also pushing through. Choli upstairs has the skylight. I'm not sure if that's the operator you want to use. For that, Shirley has better applications. You could be opening the floorboards from downstairs. A lot of soft tissue, you could be playing vertically from the down up, but Hajime here in a very peculiar angle will be trying to push this, and like Cola says, oh no, that's not an angle you want to contest, my friend. He will take a little bit of damage, but Choli does win the duel in the end.
Very nice trade by Choli, and only losing a just about half health definitely will be allowing Buck to still keep on spearheading the push. Dab, unfortunately, misplacing his C4 will be slowing things down just a little bit, but Edmund, with a fallback strat, will be falling downstairs to see if he can maybe take point at the second floor, but no, that won't be the case at least just yet. It will be Choli to take point at the window, repelled up to the... Oh wait, no. He will be rappelling up to the rooftop. So, for now, a little bit of a scarce positioning by Team 1122 as they are starting to potentially prepare for that push. And probably the main issue here will be for one of the pushes is Packy's position, considering that he is controlling the white stairs quite thoroughly.
And there we go. It does look like he will be pushing up. And, you know, they get the wall open. A couple of drones go through, but Tentong here will be trying his best to push in with the G8A1. And you know what? Don't sleep on that LMG. Oh, one kill going down. Does look like they will be able to pick up the second one, of course. The refrag. Choli picking up a second. And oh my gosh, a nice cleanup from Edwin as well. Hajime picking up one on DAB. Dab himself gets taken. Oh, okay. And another one onto Edwin. So there we go. It gets cleaned up. 1-1-2-2. Pick up round one.
Round one indeed, a very nice and for the round, considering that it was a 1v2 situation, but nonetheless, it is Buck who opened up the round, and he is the one who closed it off as well. So, a nice job by 1122, the returning Hong Kong team into Southeast Asia does manage to make things work for them on the first round, but can they keep up this pace? That is still yet to remain to be seen. But as it stands, kitchen service and cooking will be the choice for the defense to ensure that they keep up their rotation and don't get locked up on a single side, because we all know how dangerous it can get for a fair few of those teams who keep on retrying the side over and over again and then proceed to just flat out lose those points.
Yeah, it's always best to come back to it with a fresh mindset and a better hit space. Repeating the one side, maybe you might be able to get something, but then I feel like the enemy team is going to be able to read into it and feel like, you know what, they messed up here, they're going to fix that. So if they're going to fix that, we're going to try this again. So they'll definitely read into you if you just repeat sides back to back. Definitely has a bad sort of success rate if you want to start calculating some of the statistics as well. Packy downstairs will be reinforcing over by the small bakery, walling off the little connector there. Does look like Hajime as well. We trying to push in and try to hold in from the backside. Put a mute jammer down there, making sure no one gets in or gets through. But does look like, you know, like Colas has that one black eye available to him. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure they're going to throw that one outside. Yep, there we go. It's going to go down. Barricade goes back up. And you know what? Maybe a sneaky little spawn peek.
I mean, if it won't be sneaky, I wouldn't be really too opposed to a spawn peek either. But a run out, I believe... No, that wasn't just a run out. It was just sprayed out onto the window. For now, Q Confirm seeming to be pretty much playing it steady. Mute did take a little bit of a damage from an engagement with Zafia, but apart from that, not a whole lot has happened really. There is an opening in the wall into the kitchen, and it seems that if either of the defenders will try to contest that very angle while Gridlock was holding that angle, it could have been quite deadly for them. But it seems that it is CT that will be opening things up with a grenade. And
Ooh.
things are looking quite nice to kick things off as Mute is off the board, and that is the C4 off the board as well.
Yeah, there we go. Takes out another camera. There goes Lycolis. Oh, very nice kill from Producer Boom with the K1A. Maybe pick up another one as well. Packy trying to put a couple of pot shots out there. Dodges a couple of bullets like Neo himself from the Matrix. And it does look like he is in a precarious position in the code check itself. CT calls and decides to double check if they've got a clean pair of underwear on. But doesn't look like they're taking too warmly to it. CT does get taken out there. And Healthcare OG will be trying to pick up a couple more doubles with the Elder, and he gets traded out there by the line of sight. But Q confirmed win round 2, and it does look like an even trade so far. Very, very heated matchups coming in so far, Cthulhu.
Certainly is a very seemingly close matchup to go with, but you confirm having a very nice defense there for themselves. Definitely seem to have worked out quite well with just holding the sights, anchoring up and around the floor, and perhaps not even needing really that Valkyrie flank that Q-Confirm did try to utilize while she was there. So,
you know what? I'm sick of these guys teasing Warden and then swapping off into something else. I'm tired of it, man.
That you're watching. Maybe they just want to keep on teasing you. Just get that reaction out of it.
Well, I hope they know I'm watching because I'm literally casting this game right now. But hey, you know what? If you want to tease Warden on me, I'm just playing with my heart at this point, guys. Don't even. Why would you do that to me? What did I do to you? Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Certainly does. As whenever he does make it work with his utility and his loadout, he is an absolute force to be reckoned with, and it's quite a scary force.
Yep.
But that's not the case here. That won't be the case for the reading room and dining defense, as QC will be prompting for a top-down hold with a fair bit of the floor opened up as well.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Play more of this top-down unorthodox positioning. It's gonna add only positive things into our repertoire. They are playing from the freezer as well, so they've got a lot of walling going on there. Not too much, but it does look like a little bit of a late setup coming through. 2 minutes 40 and 20 seconds off the clock already, still setting up upstairs.
Yeah, well, it seems that they are allowed this luxury while the attackers are still rappelling up on the rooftop and on the windows. So, with only now the hatches being popped open, it is a matter of time until 1122 will make that drop for themselves. And at this point, the main question here is: are Q Confirm are going to be around and going to be able to counter that drop?
Interesting to see how this is turning out. Like Cola's going to be peeking over the side here. Ooh, might just see a couple of members push through. Does look like they're not in the vicinity just yet, but they are getting ready. They're being very precautious with everything. But you know what? Being Doc himself allows you to be a little bit more aggressive. Heal yourself up afterwards as long as you don't get absolutely demolished with a headshot.
Yeah, that is the only issue in the whole equation. And for now, Lycol is seeming to be pretty confident about his position. He's still able to contest multiple angles, and he has plenty of peak holes as it is, which does make Choli question a bit the positioning. And as it stands, the thermite charge will be going off to allow the attackers to waltz into the freezer. But so far, the only contestant that there will be is going to be Doc's positioning.
Yeah, there we go. Like Colas, ooh, loses the trade, I suppose, a little bit. Should be able to heal himself up and in this position, but no, he will be caught out, over pushed, and no retrade will be coming out. Packy doesn't win that one. A couple of members come to their rescue, but it does look like Team 112 are on the back foot after that. And oh nope, they've evened it out. There we go. Charlie picking up Packy. Healthcare trying to pick one up. Does ooh, he might just see the Habana directly above him.
He just might be able to with 37 seconds left to go.
Ooh, that's not Habana.
Not a whole lot of room for movement is left for the attacking team, and right now they're not even on the site, sir. Producer Boom is currently offside, and only the Echo that is currently close by in the reading. So if they go in for the drop into the dining, they just might be able to have an extra chance to actually win this.
Yeah, well, you know what? It just does look like it's going to be a bit of a stalemate. 11 seconds left in the clock. I'm not too sure exactly what's going to happen, but it looks like healthcare might just be able to, save the day a little bit. Choli's going to push in from the laundry. Does look like they're going to open the wall up. Doesn't have exactly a clear entry in, but a Q confirmed win due to time and due to a good stronghold.
It was a good stronghold indeed. You confirm do manage to claim themselves yet another round, and they are now in the advantage and in the lead points-wise, albeit that it is a single point, but nonetheless an advantage as it is. But bar and cocktail lounge, I'm curious how will this play out once again, because the defense was a little bit shaky, just as the execution of the offense, but last time they tried it, it was quite successful, at least on the first round.
Yeah, there we go. Coming back into the next round now. It does look like... I mean, I felt like that last round was pretty good. Both teams were fairly even, trading back-to-back, and it does look like they managed to save the day there. Unfortunately, a little bit poorly timed coming in from the attacking side there, but a great defense and a precautious attack. Nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, running out of time is probably the least of your problems.
Yeah, running out of time is one of those, like, the least of the problems and the least of the issues that the team usually has. It's either you're just getting flat out wiped out, or you're just not watching some of these angles. And precisely that, Q Confirm managed to avoid, just full-on drain the time, let 1122 make those mistakes and force them via the time, and that's exactly what seemed to have worked out here and worked pretty well so far to gain Q Confirm that advantage.
It does look like Edmund's going to be starting to rappel up by himself. All members are reporting to site as soon as possible, and Choli going all the way back for his drone. Oh wow, nice dodge of the C4 from the hatch over there. Great job. Jimmy's trying to just peek in and make sure that no one is behind that bar. Can be quite a strong position as well. Try to deny any breach coming in from the red stairs. But Lycolis is moving in, putting a couple of cameras down as well. So still in very interesting positions. Lycolis being able to be there is, I mean, sure, it's still pretty. It's like a minute in the round. He shouldn't be allowed to do that, but not surprised considering their position.
Well, with minute and 50 seconds to go, Choli will be starting to try to make some poking positions. Edmund already has the full-on point staring right at the New Haven, but as apart from that, Lycolis is gathering some juicy amount of information. Zafir will be taking some damage from that gas grenade, but not too much. Meanwhile, the rest of the QC roster is being a little bit dicey and still roaming up and around.
I feel like they need to really do something here. They're just kind of letting 112 do whatever they want. Not, I mean, they're keeping an eye on them, sure. But are they being proactive about it is my question. Because 112 are slowly deconstructing their defense, and QC aren't doing too much about it. I'm not seeing much coming in from QC.
Yeah, well, just as you say that, QC yet again allow the breach to go through, and right now with 48 seconds left to go, they might be trying to bank in on the time play, but at this point with a breach like that, it might be a little bit too hard to contest for yet another 35 seconds.
Edmund push through. Does look like he might be able to get in. And nope, playing from vertical. Does look like one more gets taken up. CT picking up Packy. But Packy earlier got another kill onto by Dad. So 1 for 1, not bad so far. And does look like Jimmy gets taken out with a shotgun by Hajime. A nice little trade. But Echo is still on the board. Just a little bit down. And is able to maybe contribute back. And oh, very swift play. Q confirmed. clean it up. Producer Boom with a shotgun, very, very confident with his ability to make sure they clean up house and confirm that win.
Very nicely done, as Confirm are starting to drift away with so many points right now for themselves already. A 2-point difference between themselves and 1122, and it seems that the old legend behind one of the oldest competitive teams, aka 1122, is slowly starting to drift away, at least for the time being, at least, and at the very least on this very half. Kitchen service and cooking once again will be the choice for Q Confirm's defense, and I believe that one was also quite a victorious one for the for that roster, for the ex-Xavier roster.
And they're doing alright so far. A couple of mistakes here and there, but overall a strong play and strong game coming in from them. But Team 1122 are 1122, I will call them actually. It's a little bit easier for me to say. But 1122 definitely putting up a decent fight coming in. Despite them being out of the Pro League game for quite a number of seasons now.
Yeah, they certainly are not the absolutely hottest team right now in the Southeast Asian region, but they have plenty of experience from all the older series and seasons. Plus, they had plentiful amount of VODs as well, as including the Q Confirmed, the old Xavier roster that was pretty much the nightmare of Southeast Asia up until recently, when Airwolf did manage to actually clicking heads in a very nice manner.
Airwolf, now known as Vodafone Giants. I still feel so great to say it. Congratulations to them, by the way. Haven't given them my best wishes, but I'm very proud of them nonetheless. Everyone is doing fantastic, and Southeast Asia is definitely being propelled into a new age, a new era of competitive Rainbow Six. We are seeing that Lasay did pull in a tie versus the new Xavier. And now we're seeing an old team come back in with a new name, competing in a new light as well. Team 112 coming in versus Q Confirmed here. 5th round of the 3rd day of the 11th season of the Southeast Asian Rainbow Six Pro League.
2020 year as well.
Yeah, 2020, by the way, with 2020 vision of our goals. With a minute 50 left on the clock, will they be able to make something happen? No kills, only a drop of blood on Packy being taken out there, and a whole magazine being wasted on no drones, by the way. No drones.
No drones indeed, as right now all the shots are being exchanged to no avail, at least just yet.
Hitting air.
With already half a round gone, things might start getting heated up pretty quickly, considering that most of QC roster are actually just close by to the site, minus the Valkyrie.
Team 1122, Thermites, nowhere to be seen, very far off. Does look like they might go for a white stairs push through the freezer. Might be the idea they require, and might be the play they need to actually emphasize on. I love a push through the backside there. It does look like we are going to be pushing in from the front, though. They're not really focused on that. Jimmy's pushing up front. Does see a kill from the top down. Charlie capitalizing on Hajime's backside. And Dad finally getting that exothermic on the wall.
Finally indeed, but with now the breach only now starting to go through, Dab should allow his team to keep going any further. But with all the trades coming out, it is a 3v3 situation, but time is definitely now in favor of the defense, as it is Charlie who is picking up yet another kill. 2v3 situation, but 14 seconds to go. Not a whole lot of time to mobilize here, as well as that with Dab going down, and Jolie as well, nicely down by QC, as they are completely the whole push of 1122.
I tell you now, man, it is the Thai teams, and they are rising. Q Confirmed being very confident in their play so far, pushing up and being very, very strong in their positioning. 1-4 at this point in time, round 6. 10 seconds left on the clock for the picks, and I'm hoping that 112 swap around some of these picks because some of it's just not working. I think they could take the Gridlock out. I love Gridlock, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think she's bringing the impact that they're trying to gain.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. The Gridlock choice is certainly a little bit questionable, just due to the fact that they are trying to enforce a little bit more of that aggression while still keeping the utility. But for that very thing, you could still use an operator, say Capitao. That guy isn't banned at all, and you can play him very well. If you want to out the flanks, Nomad. She has a fantastic set of guns, both AK and ARX, just depending on whether you want more ammo in the magazine and slightly less damage, or just more damage flat out. So,
I mean,
there is a whole lot of variety, and yeah, Gridlock is definitely not seeming to be working out quite well.
I mean, look, if they knew how slow QC are with their setup so far, Amaru would be a great choice. I don't want to have to say it, but
yeah, that's actually a good point as well. Yes.
If they realized how slow they are, Amaru would have been like, "Hey, surprise! I'm already here," and that's what they need. You know, they need early confirmation and early aggression because they're taking their sweet time, and yeah, they're being methodical with this. Sure, I can appreciate that, but at the same time, they're not being as aggressive as they need to be. I'm not saying they need to be super aggro. Just a little bit more.
What is interesting to me is the fact how different the 1-1-2-2 approach Q confirm comparative to Giants, because on their first game they ended up going for a very aggressive play and went for a fair few rushes, albeit that not a whole lot of them were really successful, but there were rushes nonetheless, and they were keeping up the whole overall pace of the game. Whereas over here, this is a completely different turnaround. 1-1-2-2 being very much cautious about how they plan to approach the plays.
I just think that I mean, they didn't do so well despite the obvious change, and I think this change of pace is a reaction to that. It's just them sitting there saying that, you know what, it didn't work the last time, it won't work this time, which is actually the wrong mentality that you need to bring into the game. You know, like, surely you make mistakes, but it doesn't mean that one mistake equates to every single instance you could use that strategy. So they still got some time left. This is the 6th round though. If they're gonna change the pace, it is gonna be now. But it is already a minute 26 seconds into the clock, and Choli's still upstairs holding this the skylight. No one's taking any damage. They just shooting at each other. Okay, I speak too soon. One's gone down. Gets dabbed out, and Edmund as well, picking up another Anti-Colas with the AUG. It does look like, oh, okay. 4160 Carbine does a little bit of work there, but doesn't pick up anyone just yet. Q confirmed still in a strong position, but they finally get to trade it out 2-1, making it a bit of a stacked fight, making sure that they confirm these kills. Great decision.
Great decision indeed.
Oh.
With a 3v3 situation, Hajime might be in a power position right now, as well as Producer Boom. Albeit that the C4 has been extinguished here, all of those players are in a very powerful set of positions, which could allow them to pretty much completely destroy 1-1-2-2's push here. Can Hajime, though, catch that that Buck off guard, or whether this will be a complete shutdown by 1-1-2-2 and they will be able to finish the first half in their favor? But it seems that it's not the case. It's a 1v3 situation with 6 seconds to go. Not a whole lot of chances for Choli to make things right, and Q Confirm will be securing themselves a 5-1 scoreline in the first half.
Just too much indecision coming out from 1-1-2-2. 11-22 need to be a bit more decisive, a bit more aggressive, and firm with what their calls are. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but it's not that these guys lack the skill required in order to pick these kills up. I feel like they're not sure what they want.
It's timing.
Yep,
yeah,
timing.
It's timing and just them being completely unsure about where they're going. Maybe the calls are completely differentiating there, and one says, hey, I want to go there. No, I want to go here. And
yeah, one guy's here, but no, I saw him there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it keeps on being the conflict of callouts, conflict of interest, and just overall conflict that just disallows 1122 to actually get the win.
And I just think that they have so much potential,
Bombs from being defused by
but
attackers.
if they could just get that together, things things could definitely change around, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. Things could definitely change around if they can nail down their coordination. But until then, really, 1122 will definitely be having a whole lot of issues.
So don't forget to pick up your Pro League Goyo and your Pro League Amaru in the store tonight. Make sure that you lock that in for yourself. Dad certainly isn't waiting, and we'll be roaming around with that Jaeger, of course. Choli around as well. And it does look like, yet again, another slow and late set up from this time Team 1122. Does mean that they have a lot of line of sight being opened up, but they are wasting a lot of those shotgun shots.
They are indeed. Well, with Q confirmed now,
No way
bringing
you're
in
trying to get a kill like
slight
that.
difference on Paki, trying to go for maybe a couple of pre-fires, but bringing in, I think, is definitely a bold move here for Q confirm, especially now that they are on the offense. I'm curious to see how will it work out, that choice, especially with that being the Ash and the Finka combo, as well as the Fear, could be quite deadly.
Now that you mention it, this is a very aggressive push, especially if you got the Dokibi actually popping off and proccing at the same time. It could mean it could be a very aggressive rush, and honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. The old Xavier definitely have done the same, and healthcare back on Zofia just means that they're not wasting any time.
Yeah, we saw it a few times when even the newest Xavier roster has been utilizing the Finka quite substantially, just for the sheer fact that how potent it can be for the rushes. As Paki just proves that the push with the LMG does make it work quite well. And there's the other kill by the producer boom. Rush in by the Ash will be ensuring that the planet will be going down pretty much uncontested. Just like that,
Wow.
Evan does manage to find the kill onto Paki, but the planet is down.
And you know what? They only just lost their first member now, 2-4 right now. Can 1122 change things around?
They count.
CT just taken out from the top down, and it does look like, yes, it is all but nigh. 6-1 right now on round 7. And Q confirmed are surely to confirm an early victory this time around. Round 8, it's looking grim for 1122.
Certainly is, as it is their second defense attempt, and they are back onto Bar and Cocktail Lounge. Same lineup, as they will be potentially just attempting a slightly different turn of events, but looking at the lineup for QC, and it does seem to be like they might be retrying a bit more of an even more probably aggressive approach, considering that bringing Nomad can allow more of an impromptu kind of playstyle to roll with, and not a single hard breacher. Now that is something quite interesting.
That's just confidence. Pure, unadulterated confidence.
But could it be overconfidence though, Ian? Because for this very side, a hard breacher is definitely going to be quite useful, but could they be just prompting to go for, say, I don't know, hot breaches in through the window and see if they can go from there, or are they just that confident that they can take firefights on the stairs that they don't need a hard breacher?
It could definitely lead to their demise, but I mean, like we saw the last Thai team just go absolutely ham and disrespect them with a dirty,
5 seconds left.
very long run out, and they just stayed there. That was confidence. Yeah. That was confidence on their end, and you know what? It's a trend I'm seeing that if they're confident they're gonna win it, they're just gonna do whatever they want, and this is exactly an example of that. They just don't really care at this point. They just know they're gonna win.
That's a very good point there, Ian. So with that said, 1122 having a little bit of a scarce positioning for themselves, will be attempting to bring things back, not allow QC to get a 7-1 win. But as it stands, things are definitely looking up in favor of ex-Xavier roster. What is producer trying to do? I'm confused a little bit.
I'm always confused what producer's trying to do. Well,
That is also true.
Well, he's not too stressed with what he's supposed to do, but Choli does know where Choli needs to be. Edmund needs to decide what he wants to do, though. He's kind of like wandering and meandering in between sites and is unsure of where he should be peeking. CT is in a very forward position, but I would imagine that the smoke would be a little bit further back. And oh, that's a nice little segue of him being pushed off there with the air jab, but it does look like I think he does make it back alive. Oh no, he got punished. Nope. I'm not sure.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
He died. I see his corpse over there. Yep.
I am.
Yep. So CT there now is on the corner, and does look like producer Boom as well is hanging around. A little bit more droning and preparation surely does mean that they should be able to do something. Ash trying to do the same thing Ash was doing it before, throwing in a breaching charge, making sure that they clear out the way. Maestro not doing too much, and man, I just realized that is the strongest melee in the history of melees because he just broke through tiles.
Well, the punching, it still may potentially not win the firefights, but there it is, a nice shot on Sabaki. Edmund will be allowing his team to potentially win one more round as the plant will be starting to happen. Hajime taking a hefty amount of damage with those gas grenades will be going down, as now it is all up to Producer Boom to try to win this, but he won't. Team 1122 proceeding to net themselves yet another point as they are planning to go down with guns blazing here.
Yeah, it does look like Edmund as well. Ooh, very nice. I mean, Edmund did a fantastic job with a lot of the pre-fires coming through. And finally, 1122 getting a game in a round in for themselves. And Q confirmed losing that overconfidence that they brought in there. So definitely, we're seeing this happen. And you called it there. You called it there, Cthulhu.
I did indeed. Took a peep into the future. And then straight away came back to give you all the news 3 seconds ahead of you, Ian. But for now, kitchen, service, and cooking. We're still sitting on the verge of Q Confirm getting themselves those 3 points, but they're not just there yet. As 1122 promptly decided to grab themselves a nice cheeky win in the previous round and defended the bar and cocktail pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, they've got an interesting setup, and this time that the roles are swapped around, it's nice to see that they're bringing in the castle strategy for that bakery there. I do like seeing that strategy, using the toppled shelf as a nice rotation and blocker there as well. Can be very different for them, but if they're reinforcing one side and leaving open the one wall by closer to the staircase, it does mean that they need someone by the red stairs actually holding it down, or they do lose the entire control of that side. But they have one shield behind the bar, so that's very interesting to see. They've got a rotation behind the bar and a shield behind it as well, with a Maestro sitting back there. That's something very different, Cthulhu.
Certainly is, as the Maestro could definitely make that much needed change right now for 1122 to make a comeback. As for Q Confirmed, this is seeming to be a little bit of a slugfest to try to find the right position to play from and to know where to go in for the push. But it seems not a single, well, actually make it now not a single person that will be now down upstairs, as Dab will get completely bulldozed by Hajime.
See you later. Dab on him.
Yeah, he pretty much got dabbed
I'm
on.
sorry, I didn't mean to
He
say
pretty
that.
much got dabbed on at this point by Hajime. That was a very nice and clean peek as well.
Very fast, very clean,
Very clan. Very
much
clan.
dab.
Much dab. Such wow. English is very hard. But
It can be sometimes, I have to admit.
yeah, it
But-
does get quite tedious occasionally. But as it stands,
Yeah. Jimmy, behind the bar, waiting to mix up a cocktail or two, does see that, you know what? He's just got to sit tight. A lot of members are on the attacking side, still trying to push through. They've got all their members. And Producer Boom finally getting some of this extra thermite down. Wonder if he's going to go for a white stairs push as well, because honestly, I think that's going to be the perfect combo. And it does look like that's what they're setting up for, removing a lot of the obstacles and a lot of the counter surveillance as well.
yeah, with so much utility out there opened up, it is a question of can the attack spot that mute player? And there it is. Edmund will be able to actually punish Producer Boom for a missed drone. But healthcare on the case is already out there as well as that. Oh wait, that was actually healthcare as well, rushing up and getting the kill.
Ooh.
It is up to the two players of the 1-1-2-2 that will be trying to clutch this up. Oh, fantastic! Flanked by Choli as well.
Yeah, and there we go. A nice double kill coming up from Choli. It does look like he's pushing through 2-2 right now. A couple of shots going through. It does look like a couple of pre-fires don't really connect. And the diffuser is on the ground. You're not going to pick it up because they want them to think, where are they coming from? Choli is going to be concussed, does lose that duel himself. And it does look like a 1-2 situation with CT. Losing it out just in time. Q confirmed win on round 9 and take away the map.
They will indeed. 7-1 will be the scoreline of map number 1 between Q Confirm and Team 1122. As it ended up being way faster and way more tilted in favor of Q Confirm, the Xavier roster, rather than what we've been expecting here, Ian. 7-2. That's quite something, honestly.
I mean, both teams have players sitting at the 10 frag lineup. Q Confirm win 2-7, of course, and it does look like a very convincing win coming in from Q Confirmed. A very different performance from what we expected. We thought it'd be a bit more even on both sides, but let's face it, they deserve to be where they are right now, Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, they certainly do, and the prowess that they had all throughout a fair few seasons within Southeast Asia Pro League definitely shows that they have that experience. Whereas 1122 seem to have had a fair few issues trying to direct where they want to do, how they want to win those rounds, and how do they want to set them up. And overall, it's seeming to be a bit of a issue for them to correct. But can they find their mojo back on the second map, though? That is the main question here.
Yeah, we'll have to find out whether or not they get that mojo back in and the tempo they require to find the decisiveness they need to bring in a win. They need a lot of things right now. I'm not going to deny it. They're kind of messy right now. 1122 have the potential, but they just aren't getting it today so far. Can Q confirm the double 2-0 win tonight here for the Southeast Asian Rainbow Six Pro League? We'll just have to find out soon enough. Cthulhu and me are boggled at how this is turning out. It's not too surprising, honestly, but what can we say? It's just been a pretty roller coaster. It's been a bit of a roller coaster of a ride coming through. Cafe was... It looked good for 1122 to start, right? They had a good convincing round, fairly even up. And they had a couple of rounds where they were evenly matched, but then they just lost it and they just got demolished. They lost it, they just stopped being decisive, they took too long to make decisions, and they took too long to act on and capitalize on situations where Q Confirmed were just lacking.
Indeed. Well, for now, we'll be shortly taking a quick break to get ourselves some water, hydrate ourselves, and await for the next matchup that will be coming up. The map number 2 between Q Confirm and 1122 coming up shortly.
When I'm not yours this time, let go. I'm not the one to blame. I see that you are still the same. I probably a bitch, but you know I caught your bluff. Now you are the victim, stop, I had enough. Cruising on a joyride, light heart, I feel free. You're out of the picture, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, c'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, we're such a sad face. Why such a sad face? Why such a sad face? Why such a sad face? Now you call like a bitch, but you know I caught your bluff. Now you are the victim, stop, I had enough. Cruising on a joyride, light heart, I feel free. You're out of the picture, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, c'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, boy. When seas get rough, you just give in to the ride. You see, we thirst for danger, but we find no savior. They tug and pull, they push you right to the edge. When all you need is shelter, you just don't seem to get there. I got the feeling you've been expecting me. No chance encounter, right here's where you're meant to be. Our paths are crossing just in the nick of time. If you need to meet me, I'll be right by your side. Are we strangers in the night with open arms? I'm calling. I'll be there when you're falling down. You're out of danger when I'm in sight. Just seeking you shall find me. Yes, I'll be bringing you to life. Won't be no stranger in the night. Whoa, 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 won't be no, won't be no. He wants alone, he wanders deep in the night. Won't be shown, lost in meaning to explain feelings. Are we strangers in the night with open arms? I'm calling. I'll be there when you're falling down. You're
Hey guys, welcome back. So, welcome back to the stream. We are here for the last game of the day. And it's again with Q Confirm versus 1122. So, the Hong Kong team versus the Thai team didn't look so hot this time around. Hopefully we see a better showing coming in to this next matchup. On what map, we'll have to find out. But, it was pretty messy coming in from 1122, wasn't it, Cthulhu?
Oh yeah, the 11-22 performance was definitely quite lackluster on map number 1 between the two teams, and definitely was not quite what we expected. But let's take a look at the map bans for the final map of today's playday. Border and Clubhouse automatically gone. Curious what will be the next bans. Coastline banned out by 1122. Same goes for Consulate. And that leaves us with Border, Villa, and the Cafe, which I believe we will be seeing Villa banned out. Now, which one would it be? Okay, Bank. Oh wait, Border did get banned out initially, and we will be seeing Cafe Electric Boogaloo number 2 to be played out. Ian, how are you feeling about that?
I got no comments, man. I got no comments about this because I honestly think that, like, how do you let this happen? Okay, cool. This time around, you know, it is definitely the other team that decided we want to go to Cafe, and we're sitting here like, you know what? I really hope 1122 came up with a good game plan for the second game. Because they're gonna really know what they should know what Q Confirm they're gonna do, but I feel like Q Confirm can literally come up with any strategy at this point and almost boggle 1122 at this point.
I feel at this point is Q Confirm can even pull if Recruit Rush was even allowed at this point. If they would have pulled a Recruit Rush, I would have I feel like that they would have been able to actually pull it out pretty successfully, all things considered.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've done already a full-on, flat-out rush with Finca Ash. They went for a systematic push through piano into the bar, a cocktail and bar. They went for the Jackal push as well. They've opened up the kitchen. They've done pretty much everything that can be done, so it's just a matter of time when they're going to run out of the strats. For now, it is Cafe map number 2, repeating of what happened in the first matchup. So good luck and fun. QC on defense.
Yeah. Well, at least wait, hold on a second. QC on defense again?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like they just let that happen. They planned for this to happen. Okay, I see the grand scheme here. Okay. But you know what? I believe in second chances. You know? 1122 have a chance. They banning Capital this time. Cool.
And they're banning Thermite as well.
Oh yes, because that's gonna be a huge deal. I mean, yes, it does. It does make a big difference with how the teams are gonna play. But it's like they still have all these other operators, Maverick, Habana. Like they're still gonna be able to do the same thing. Maybe it's not as fast as Thermite might, right? What else we got here going on, man? Mira getting banned out on Cafe? Really? Not the...
I mean, Mira can be utilized in a fair few ways. That was shown by Fnatic in the early days when Rizraz was still a part of the team.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, Goyo is banned. Full on, the man cannot be given any room.
Leave my man's Goyo alone. Okay, him and his Vulcans didn't do anything to you last game. What makes you think he's... I don't even, man. I don't even at this point. I'm sure there's a reason for all this, of course. Gridlock coming back in for 1122. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just like the gun. Maybe they just like the utility that she brings. But it's not like I saw her make a huge impact on any of these rotations last round. In the last matchup. Jimmy's on Ashe this time. Similar role coming in for Jimmy's. And CT still on that support. Choli on the Buck. Okay, yeah. Sneaky Choli coming back in again. You know, we saw it before. But will will Buck make a big difference though? Like I saw something, but
Need to locate and defuse
it's less about the operator picks coming through, which are, don't get me wrong, questionable, but it's mainly about how they're gonna play this without a thermite. And I mean,
there's still a Hibana, there's still a Maverick
yeah.
to play things around, so it's not as much of a change/loss. But I can see your point in regards to them just having a few issues, just opening up big enough holes and quick enough. So
Quick enough
let's
is the real thing we're talking about here, because surely yes, Habana and Maverick can do the same job, but will they be able to do it fast enough? Because there are a lot of rotations in this game, and there are a lot of people that actually there are a lot of operators that actually make it through all these specific spots at the right time, you know? Like Holmes is waiting with the C4 already in a very similar position, opening it up, waiting for them to rappel in. And you know what? 2 members going up that wall, maybe 3, might fall victim to this C4. 1 goes forward, and you know what? Doesn't pick up anyone this time, but it does telegraph exactly where he was, what utility was used, and maybe they can start counting down from there.
it definitely was a little bit of a overly aggressive, I would have to even say, usage of that C4 by Q Confirm, but it does still fend off 1122 for a little bit and leaves them questioning as if they're going to be any more up close engagements. So are they going to be flat out just operators close by, and like always getting drawn out, will be still staying around the bomb directly, while Packy is actually on the hunt, on the prowl for some of that room clear.
Does look like a very forward position coming from like Cole. Is very aggressive in a still safe spot, but you know, like juggling this frag grenade down. Oh, okay, sure, very interesting. Not exactly the spot you want to be, but I don't think like Cole has had to pre-fire that. Anyway, it does look like they will make it through with a very, very well placed Habana, Kairos pellet sack. Pushing through into the corner there. It does look like they might need a grenade to go through, but it's not connecting just yet. Peeking going for a rotate downstairs as well through the reading room.
Yeah, that grenade did get full on eaten up by that Jaeger ADS, and a fantastic peek by Lycolis will be ensuring that CT will be going down. As well as that, a nice peek onto Jimmy as well. That is just like that. And another one for triple kill for Lycolis. The man is just on the fire right now straight away. Choli will be taken out and then traded out, as now it is all up to Edmund. He is on a slither of health, but so is Lycolis, and so is technically Producer Boom, which does leave at a bit of a questionable position, because Edmund is one shot away from dying, pretty much even to his toe. But so is Lycolis, really.
It's just,
Let's scratch that.
It's about who sees who, and there we go. Edmund gets taken out there. Producer Boom taking that one up, winning round 1.
Yeah, round 1. A very good showcase by Q Confirm, managing to grab a very nice quick win in round number 1 and continuing their very exquisite streak here for themselves.
And there we go. So reading room fireplace does look like it's gonna go forward, and it does look like it's gonna push through. And I'm still baffled with the Goyo ban, but hey, we live in a really strange day and age. Gridlock still on the board. IQ now being brought in by Jimmy's though. That's a different pick. So I mean, yeah, IQ has that aggressive, like, she can be aggressive with the commando, the AUG, and the fact that she is a 3-speed operator. But is that the person you want to be pushing in with a player that's primarily on that opening frag role?
IQ is good with the within a correlation with a few of the operators. If you try to leave her alone for just the sheer fragging, she might fall short to some of the higher fire rate guns. but her utility comparative to, say, like if you trying to go for a similar role, say Ash or something, I definitely have to say that IQ is definitely a much more suitable operator for this one. So let's see if she will be utilized to the right position. If not, well, we'll know that 1122 is definitely making some questionable decisions, to say the very least.
Yeah, there we go. So another camera going out there. Oh no, not like this, Lycolis. Not like this. Alright, well, maybe they won't see it this time around, but at least maybe it'll be safe. So a lot of surveillance and a lot of recon coming in from that defending team as well. Lycolis is going to be on the camera, pushing through. It does look like Packy, sorry, will be the one holding it down, and does look like Charlie trying to get onto that little spot there. I mean, sure, if he can make it, but hopefully they don't waste too much time trying to get there. It does look like it's not going to be working out this time around. Just won't be able to get it. CT's going to go in a very brave drop down the red stairs. That's pushed down. And maybe they might be able to survive as long as they might be able to. So Healthcare is going to push through as well. Is surrounded by the enemy. And, oh, does notice one on his tail end there. And may just actually concuss him in time. Oh, does he
is using that Echo Drone to finally gain that information. And does land that nice headshot onto CT.
Very nice.
So that is Thatcher off board, and that is a very powerful kill. But the trade by Edmund will be making it as equally powerful as well, as Mozzie is now off the board as well.
Yeah, there we go. Edmund as well going to be rotating in and out on all around. Charlie will be hanging on. Still has 2 frag grenades in the back pocket, waiting for the right time to actually start using that to flush in and out. But there we go. A nice kill and push in coming from Charlie. Will be free fragged by his teammate in the corner. The Jaeger picks up a nice 2-piece for himself onto Edmund as well. And dabs on Producer Boom as he refrags for a teammate. So it's him against the world, and the world would be Packy and Healthcare OG.
Both of them are on full health and have the element of surprise of their positioning, as Dab is now just waiting for the right moment to push, and his attention is completely
not
gone
like
from
this.
there. There it is. Not like this, indeed, as Dab will be going down to the hands of Healthcare pretty nicely and very well coordinated by the Echo player of Q Confirmed.
Out of drones, out of line, out of sight. It does look like Healthcare with more intel and more surveillance and more utility available to him will be the one to win the duel. Just through brains, outsmarting them, and just using, you know, the tools at their disposal. So they are making it out there. They are doing the things. Q Confirmed with 2-0 right now on this leaderboard, and looking very confident so far. Team 1122 came close that round though, Cthulhu, I have to say.
Oh yeah, they certainly did. They are getting occasionally close, but they seem to have issues with closing out the rounds. They have a good idea how to start things off, how to go in for the push, but the moment they have the opening to go, say for the plant or for the kills, they seem to be stalling things out, and I'm not too sure what is exactly holding them back, because it's certainly seeming like the communication up until those openings is there. They can pull it off, they can get the frags, but at some point they just say, nope, we're gonna pause, we're gonna take it even slower, and that's where they end up falling apart.
So they're pushing in, and I just feel like this hole down in the kitchen needs to be a little bit more comprehensive, because they left one wall soft before, and I'm sure there was a reason for it, but hopefully things I mean, it's gonna work out. These guys are quite confident with what they're playing right now, and they're not wasting any time whatsoever. Healthcare puts down the Evil Eye, has a good angle actually pushing into the prep room. And yet again, Lycolis reinforcing upstairs a little late, but still not exactly in the worst timing available. So a lot of utility going down into that coat check. One Thatcher EMP, and it's all gone, Cthulhu.
It's all gone indeed, but this time Thatcher is still alive, but the initial kill does go in favor of 1122. Maestro off the board, as it is now definitely going to be a good start right now for the attacking team. Producer Boom is there to assist Packy, as he does manage to cover the push of Edmund and take him out. But as it stands right now, the position of Jaeger is very much quite expendable, and right now Dabs will be able to get rid of him and produce a boom as well, making it a 4-2, make it 3-2.
Nice.
As Lycolis does pick up a nice kill onto Choli, so things are starting to get evened up a little bit, but as it stands, it's still in favor of 1-1-2-2 with Hajime on the roam. He does find the kill as well. The diffuser is dropped, so he has the power position here to play from.
Yeah, there we go. We get that going, and it does look like, oh, another couple of kills, and a little bit of a lean out coming from Hajime. Pushing in, oh, lands a nice kill with the SMG-11, letting that recoil take the wheel, and a lot of damage. Oh, a little bit of damage on backside there. Hajime has to take a double take back in through the prep room. Two players just doing circles around one another. There we go. CT pushing in. Oh, very nice kill from Hajime coming onto CT over in the prep room with the SMG-11. And you know what? I'm not even surprised. Hajime is just so consistent. Such a consistent.
So consistent, and it was a fantastic flank at a fantastic timing as well. He was able to utilize that very same Hibana breach hole to his fullest advantage, and he had so much room to play with it around, because that was a 1v3 clutch to start things off. Managing to get rid of one of the attackers who was just trailing behind, thinking, yeah, the coast is clear, yeah, that's all perfectly fine, and then managing to catch off guard on the very same position twice is a fantastic showcase that Q-Confirm are not washed like I was initially thinking after their initial performance from the first play week. And this time they're completely proving me wrong, saying, hey, we can still perform some very nutty plays. And that is exactly what they're doing here.
And they're doing some great things here, and you know what? I feel like 11-22 are coming closer and closer to a round win, and they are learning and they are improving as these rounds go. They are adapting fast, but Q-Confirmed are just still far ahead.
Q-Confirm are even faster this time compared to what 1-1-2-2 are making progress-wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing as how prepared they are, even with the fact that Xavier is no longer supporting them as an org, they are a fantastic team to play against. They have so much experience behind their back. They have so much knowledge. They have so many strats that you can play off, that you can utilize as the templates for your own strats. And Southeast Asia region is one of those regions that does allow to have a very, very nice, very creative way to approach some of the plays.
Oh man, look at all these guys rappelling up the same point. 1 C4 and it would have just all ended for them. But you know what? They made it up safe. That's all that really matters, Cthulhu, in the end. It just really all that really matters is that, you know, they tried. They tried. But hey, it's 2 minutes left on the clock now, and it does look like Polis is doing a little bit of a late rotate. Shouldn't be allowed to be there, to be honest. They should have more control over that spot. It doesn't look like anyone's actually doing too much droning right now. One member on the drone from what I can see, and Lycolis honestly just vaulting around, free as a whale. Just free firing everything he feels like, and like, how can they let him get away with this? He's just doing anything they can't. They shouldn't, but they are. They're just leaving him to his devices, and he's just wasting all those bullets. Yeah, sure, but you know, he's just getting away with it. There we go. Jimmy's trying to go through that the X-Kairos box, the breach. Sorry, not sure if they actually can get through it, but it does look like it might be they might be able to. Hajime is pushing in, and he does look like he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve, but the bathroom seems to become quite a bit of a stronghold with all those reinforcements hanging around. Jimmy's pushing through the toxic smoke, takes a little bit more damage, gets down, doesn't get taken out just yet, but there we go. Does get cleaned up by Lycolis eventually. Does rotate yet again and picks up a second kill. Lycolis absolutely unstoppable at this point. Does anything he wants to, gets away with it, and 11-22 have no answer.
No answer whatsoever, as it seems to be looking at the bit of a
Oh, no.
flawless round. There it is. There's the kill onto Buck as well. It is a 1v5 situation. Hajime will be going in. There it is, just swinging in onto Dab and dabbing on him as well. Fantastic play, as it is a flawless round. Yet another point in favor of Q Confirm. It is a 4-0 scoreline out here, Ian, and it certainly seems like we might be seeing a repetition of what happened during map number 1. And better yet, this is the extension. We just had a rehost out here, and we're just continuing the play on Cafe.
It's like they won at round 2 on Cafe, they just go ahead and they do it, and you know what? It's like they haven't learned their lesson yet. It's a theme tonight, though. A very confident set of Thai teams coming in, absolutely demolishing the competition.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well, yeah.
Yeah,
Thai teams definitely have been on the rise as of recently, and definitely showing that they are very much able to do some very nutty stuff.
And it's all because they have so many local competitions. These other Southeast Asian countries, close to each other with similar playing, need to be able to bring in these competitions, organize their own friendlies, and really grow that scene as well. But it gets hard when people start sort of neglecting these things. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of potential for the scene, but there's not enough investment in there to really foster it. But I mean, look at Thailand. They're in the same region. They're just doing things on their own. There's a studio called there's another studio out there producing tournaments weekly, back to back, and they have their own pro league going. It's crazy. That's what you require in order to bring up the skill level and the talent in that region. Hopefully we see that for ANZ as well coming in. But I mean, ANZ itself is already on the rise. A lot of ANZ teams are going places where we never thought ANZ teams would ever go before. And now, don't get me wrong, Lasay took a draw against the new Xavier. But we still have disparities like this with 11-22 and Q Confirmed, where it's just like 7-2, 4-0, and it's really hot or cold at this point.
Indeed. Well, for now, Dab will be opening up a window onto the white stairs just to ensure that he would be able to contest it from a safe position. And this will be a very strong position as well, but oh, there it is. The strong position paying off, as Hajime will be going down to the hands of Dab, as well as Producer Boom after trying to swing in. Definitely a big yike, as right now, this is a very, very solid clear by 1122.
Yeah, there we go. CT's pushing in quite aggressively. Sprinting on site, probably not the best decision there. Like, Cola's just waiting for the right moment to be picked up, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. He'll be cleaned up soon enough, and does look like Choli leaves with a double kill. The
Attackers have located a bomb.
another member going down, and oh, Healthcare picking up a nice one with the triple going down for Q Confirmed, and one more member over in Laundry. Doesn't look like they're going to be caught anytime soon, but Jimmy's might just be able to see him on the cover, and oh my gosh, you know what? If he actually just used his gadget for like 1 second, he would have seen that Echo was on the, was using his drone, and he would have been able to wallbang him. But you know what? A bit hasty and just, not enough good intel does pay the price in the end. 5-0 now going to Q Confirmed.
5-0 indeed. So far, looking like this might just be a flawless half. Here, we've already seen one flawless half to come out from Xavier. But you confirm this very much could be the case, as they are the OG Xavier out here. Well, ex-Xavier at this point. But nonetheless, they are the OG squad that used to run Xavier's banner for a fairly long while, and they have a hefty amount of experience behind their back. So they are seeming to be able to pretty much counter any big brain play that the 1122 seems to bust out, and just be able to get back on their feet very, very swiftly.
Well, maybe we might see another 7-0 tonight here in the Southeast Asian Pro League. It's been a very short night, in fact. I expected this to go another hour at least. But here we are, only 3 hours into the broadcast, and we might be even ending it in a couple of minutes.
Well, don't call it just yet, as it is. We are not yet on the match point. Maybe 1-1-2-2 will make an epic game a comeback, and we will be seeing ourselves eating our own words. But for now, it is a 5-0, which is definitely bringing in the very real idea of a potential 7-0 or 7-1, whichever tickles your fancy more. But as it stands, Healthcare will have a very nice long angle right into the cafeteria, with Hajime already downed actually.
Alright, and there we go. He's getting downed already, and Mute being down that early, it's not a big deal, I suppose, in a sense, because he's already placed all of his utility down there. Pecky cleans up CT, but Hajime gets picked up there, so Q confirmed actually leaving better off than they were before, and I feel like Team 1122 just weren't all there. So, not sure how that's gonna go. It does look like Pecky will be just holding down that bakery there. It is safe behind the shelving. It is bulletproof. The fuser gets dropped there. Nice double kill going to him. And wow, there we go. I called it too soon. A flawless round for Q confirmed. And
Flawless half.
flawless half.
Flawless half for one. Q confirm 6-0 so far, already guaranteeing themselves a single point on a match point themselves and series point as it is. Looking like they might just grab themselves a nice set of 6 points pretty much effortlessly against Team 1122, as it is seeming to be a repetition of what happened to Script when they versed the newest lineup of Xavier last play week.
You know what, though?
What?
There is another running theme going on tonight, and it is bad picks and bans for maps.
True.
You know why? Because
Why?
the members of the captain for, let's say, Vixus messaged me just after his match, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, I forgot the ban bank."
Oh, that happens as well.
Yep. And you know what?
That certainly
These guys just let Cafe go through the second time, and it's just like cool. We're just letting these Thai teams have whatever that they want at this point.
At this point, yeah, that sounds about just as right as it can be, really.
Yeah, week 2 belongs to Thailand.
Well, for now, Q confirm are on defense. The side that pretty much had seen minimal amount of Q confirm are on offense. Pardon. Look at the wrong side and read the wrong team. But yeah, they are currently on offense, which has been seeing the least amount of success, at least statistically overall. But within Q confirm against 1122, it's seeming that either side really will pretty much work well and will end up winning. But I am quite curious about that triple stack in the piano.
Ooh, you're right. Something is amiss here. Why? I'm just gonna wait for it to happen. I'm not even gonna question it at this point, man. I just want to know. I just want to see what happens when the proverbial nonsense hits the proverbial fan. Icolas will be outside holding that angle with the little pistol there, and it does look like Dab will be trying to push in as well. The Rappel going up there. It does look like Icolas is going to be pushing through with the AK. AK-74, AK-47, Cthulhu. Oh my gosh!
That was a little bit scary out there.
What a yikes! Oh no, not like that.
Choli.
And Choli. Oh my gosh, are you joking? Are you seriously telling me this is happening? And Hajime actually. Oh no! You know why? The Finca boost actually masks the sound, so it does have its drawbacks. So you lose sound for the speed and the accuracy you gain, but hey, that's half your senses.
Oh well, while all of this happens, Paki does manage to find himself a kill, albeit being tagged up quite substantially. Single finger boost should allow him to get into another firefight until he will be going down, but as it stands, it is a 3v3 situation with a minute and 18 seconds to go. There's another boost as well coming up, and the grenade might be attempting to get picked out. Nice pick by Choli as well onto
Ooh.
Producer. Will be allowing some more advantage right now for 1-1-2-2, and potentially won't be going down to a 7-0.
Could they make it a 1-7? Maybe they could make it to a tie. Maybe. Oh, look, he's going to be pulling up there. Choli picks up a nice easy kill onto him. And there we go. Choli with a triple kill. And a quadra kill going to him. And 1-1-2-2 finally pick up a round. Surely going to boost their morale here.
Yeah, at the very least, you got to think of it as it didn't really end up failing us and going into 7-0. At the very least, you did manage to take a single round off to confirm, which is already something. You can play off there, you can analyze what did you do right, what did you do wrong, and from there kind of start basing off your whole strategy as it is. But kitchen service and cooking will be the next choice for 1-1-2-2's defense, whereas Q-Confirm are continuing their trend of using Thinker. Yet again, it did seem to have some minimal amount of progress for the team, but maybe could be missing out on something, and maybe I'm not seeing the bigger picture. But as it stands, she really wasn't that much of a big use.
Need to locate and defuse bomb.
As we push through, don't forget to pick up your new chibi. That is all. 30 seconds left on prep, and it does look like they are pushing in. Choli now just helping set up the little small bakery. CT as well pushing in with a line right through the kitchen as well. Deb moving up and actually be trying to push, actually trying to open things up and put down the barbed wire. Edmund. The jammer there, and they've left half the wall open, so they're inviting the enemy team to actually use that spot there as a point of entry. They want to divert them away from the front of the bakery into the rear end around the white stairs, but it's all a trap and it's all a lure in itself. They want to box them into that freezer and make it a kill box and a bit of a trap in itself. If they want to respond to this, they need to take control of the second floor ASAP in order to re-secure that spot for themselves and to be able to own it. But like Colas now outside the white stairs, peeking in on that window might just mean that they are waiting for the right time to push in. A little bit more control going in over this window here with the drone being taken down does mean that they have less intel available to them. But Hajime might just go in for a ballsy and very aggressive drop.
Yeah, we'll be waiting for that drop as well. For now, it is pretty much all kind of quiet and calm in the camp of Team 1-1-2-2 on the defense, while Boom is waiting for that aggression from Jaeger. He knows that there is someone on the white stairs. The drones confirmed that the presence of a German operator, but nothing emphasized off by Dab. Instead, it is Choli who will be picking up a kill onto Hajime and taking out Buck fairly early for all the plays to begin.
And there we go. One going down to Producer Boom. A couple of shots going in there. Like Colas doesn't connect with anyone just yet. Takes a little bit of damage. But thank you to Finka for giving you that extra health boost. Choli dodging the bullets. Entering through the matrix himself. But it's all because he's shorter than everyone else. So they had to like aim a little bit lower than usual. But hey, he manages to live.
Indeed, he does.
That was a Mozzie joke, by the way.
Yeah.
Just making sure you knew.
Well, for now, with a minute and 4 seconds left to go, Packy will be the one to be going down, and as well as Lycolis to see if they can make some movement going for themselves. Choli is barely on any health, while the rest of his team is very much as healthy as they can get. Q-Confirm are starting to feel a little bit stalled out, so they might need to go in for a very ballsy push sometime very soon after they will be done opening up the floor. Producer Bomb already is right at the breach So he just might have the element of a surprise when he will be going in for the peak.
Yeah, there we go. And Jimmy's actually has a very nice angle here, opening up the bar itself. I love this strategy. I love this positioning. They're pushing through. Choli's going to take a nice double kill for himself. And now we'll be rotating upstairs all nice and safe. Packy cleaning up, and there we go. Q confirmed. Win round 8, closing it out early for everyone here in the Southeast Asian Pro League.
Indeed, a very quick and a very swift closure to the matchup. 7-1 scoreline in favor of Q Confirm, as they will be netting themselves a nice set of 6 points and actually propelling themselves to the top of the leaderboard today. Look at this, poor Jimmy and CT just got absolutely bullied. 1 kill at Pariston. That is unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate. They tried their best, but they have a lot to learn. But I mean, this is their first season back into the Pro League. They will need some time to adjust, and we'll give them that over the next few weeks. Hopefully, we do see them come in quite strong, as we expect them to be able to perform and improve and learn. Welcome back to the Pro League, Team 1122. But definitely a well-deserved win coming in from Q Confirmed. So, all in all, a very one-sided matchup over the last 2 games, both on Cafe and across the whole night. Just a lot of misplays with the banning. So
yeah, a lot of misplays with the ban, a lot of misplays with the map picks, as well as operator bans, and just in general, micromanagement was not the best for a fair few teams. But at the end we got there. Xavier had a bit of a shaky performance initially to kick things off for today, which was a 6-6 scoreline against Lissay. But Lissay ended up losing out 7-0 on the secondary map against Xavier. And then we transferred over to Q Confirm versus Team 1122, where we seen a double Cafe Dostoevsky, which was resulting in a 7-2, 7-1 scoreline, both in favor of Q Confirm, aka ex-Xavier Esports roster, which does put us on a very interesting position, considering that Xavier we usually consider them top 2, top 3, but now they're being pushed back by an ex-Xavier roster, and I'm pretty sure we will be hearing a whole lot more about that roster in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. Lissay gave us the best match so far, bringing it to a tie. Definitely what we would regard as a upset. Tomorrow, we will be seeing Script versus 200 Degrees back-to-back, and then Giant Gaming, Vodafone Giants versus Valor Esports. An amazing schedule coming into the second day. Both have veteran teams, both have new teams coming in. Very happy to see how this is developing and pushing through. So thank you everybody for joining us here today on such an amazing broadcast.
Such an amazing play day.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
A fantastic play day, a great broadcast so far. I'm glad to be back in the caster seat for Rainbow Six Pro League in Southeast Asia. Also to be back casting with my man Cthulhu here. Thank you for joining me, Cthulhu.
Pleasure is all mine, Ian. It was definitely a absolute banger set of the games, and yeah, well, for us, this is just about it, really.
Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you tomorrow here on the same channel, same time. Don't go anywhere. Have a good night. Ian Land Season, joined by Constantine Cthulhu. We'll see you guys next time.
To heaven in your state now. Would you even know that I'm still alive? Can we go back to when I was 9 and you were 10? You play and we pretend. Go back and live again. Go back to when we were friends. But girl, it wasn't always like this. You made your bed, lie on it, but girl, you go